Well, hey, it's Leo Laporte, and it's time for Ask the Tech Guys. Coming up, what are we going to do with all these space rocks?
And I'm Micah Sargent, and we're faced with an interesting question. How do we make GPS routing stupid?
Stupid? And how to protect yourself from your IoT devices. It's all coming up next on Ask the Tech Guys.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This is Ask the Tech Guys with Micah Sargent and Leo Laporte, episode 1996, recorded Sunday, October 15th, 2023. It's a towel warmer. Ask the Tech Guys is brought to you by Melissa. More than 10,000 clients worldwide rely on Melissa for full-spectrum data quality and ID verification software. Make sure your customer contact data is up to date this holiday season. Get started today with 1,000 records cleaned for free at melissa.com/twit. And by our friends at IT Pro TV, now called ACI Learning. Keep your IT team skills up with the speed of technology. Visit go.acilearning.com/twit. Twit listeners, you can receive 65% off an IT Pro Enterprise Solution Plan after completing their form. Based on your team's size, you'll receive a properly quoted discount tailored to your needs. Well, hey, how are you today?
Hey.
That there is Michael Sargent.
And that there is Liam Laporte.
Liam Laporte here. And this is Ask the Tech Guys.
Yes, very serious.
The show we get to answer your tech questions, or not. We try anyway.
We do try.
888-724-2884 is the phone number. You can call us right now. Well, if right now is between 2 and 5 p.m. Eastern on a Sunday.
Yes, if you're listening at a different time, you could still call that number.
Oh, yeah, you could.
Yeah.
And just leave a message.
You'll leave a voicemail.
Yeah.
Or you can head to, also this needs to happen during the show, head to call.twit.tv on your mobile device, because when you do, you will get connected to, I don't know what that voice is, the Zoom call where you can join us. You'll have your audio and your video right there on your phone.
I'll show you what happens.
What happens?
What? Because I'm going to push my action button.
That's the volume up button.
Oh.
Also, email us atg@twit.tv.
So there's problem number one. My printer's not working. Can you help me? It's an Epson stylus printer, and I'm using AirPrint.
This is for you, Micah, by the way.
What? Oh.
Thank you. Your lower third.
Stylus printer isn't working with AirPrint. Let's try a few basic troubleshooting steps.
See, you don't need us.
1, check connection. Make sure your printer and your device are both connected to the same
Doesn't
Wi-Fi
she sound like
network.
Scarlett Johansson?
It's her. It's her.
Printer's firmware is up to
She
date.
sounds like a bored
You can
Scarlett
visit the
Johansson, though. They need to put a little
website,
lilt
check
into
for
it.
any
Yeah.
updates
I've got the
for your
dude, and he's
specific
more
printer
excited.
model.
Well, you could change.
Yeah.
3, restart devices. Sometimes a simple
I
restart
wanted
can
Scarlett.
turn off your
Scarlett?
printer and your device.
Sounds a little like
Back on
Scarlett.
after a minute.
It does.
Or printer settings. On the printer, ensure that AirPrint is enabled. Some printers have an option to turn on/off the AirPrint.
It's a pretty good answer.
Yeah, it is actually.
I think we can use this from now on.
Yeah, let's ask it, and we just sit here and nod.
This is ChatGPT, and if you pay 20 freaking bucks a month.
Yeah, which I'm doing because I'm a fool.
Well, we're doing because it's
And also,
kind of our
we need
job
to
to
test
keep an
it,
eye on
yeah.
this thing. And it reminds me how dopey AI is, basically. I mean, it wasn't a bad answer.
No.
I guess that's not dopey.
No, so this is the thing. It's the difference between being creative and the actual answers to questions that we need. When it's practical, I don't find it dopey. But if you were to ask it, the other day I wanted to show someone how it worked, and so I included their name. I said, give me a short story about this person and this and this and this. And it told the story, and the story was, it was goofy, dopey, not anything
It's mediocre.
Mediocre.
That's what basically AI is.
Yeah.
And this is kind of, it's not a wrong answer, at least as far as I can tell. It looks like it's decent. Won't help you much. It's all stuff you already tried.
Right, exactly.
But so ChatGPT just added the ability to talk back is what we're talking about. Now, not everybody had it. You had it first, and I was so jealous. And every morning I'd wake up and I'd open ChatGPT and I'd say, "Can you talk yet?" And it would say no. Mm-hmm. And then I got my Pixel 8. And I tried it on there, and it did.
Kicked it through.
And I thought, oh, maybe because I don't know, maybe they like Android better. But then I tried it on my iPhone, and it worked. So I don't know.
Do you also have access now to uploading files and photos? You should have that too.
Oh man, I'm trying to keeping up with the mic.
Force quit the app, and not right now. I'm just saying when you want to try.
You can now give it pictures. You can say, "Help me understand why does this guy look so damn good?" And she'll say, well, it's because he's wearing a 3-piece suit and a purple tie. And if you would just dress for the job you want, not the job you've got, Leo, you too could look good.
The job I want is casino dealer. Casino card dealer, I guess.
Pit bossy. I agree.
Yeah.
Anyway, hello. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, but I wanted to mention it's more something that we saw Amazon talk about and that we've seen Apple also discuss as a feature where, say you're out and you see a flyer on the wall, and not a fly, but a flyer.
Yeah.
I can take a photo of that flyer and then it can pull out the relevant details.
Oh, that's
for me.
nice.
So then I would know
sometimes
the calendar
flyers
information.
have so many paragraphs.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't need any of this. I just want to know where the event is.
What's the headline?
Yeah.
Well, there's something you could do with it anyway. I see so many
You
companies.
remain skeptical.
I remain skeptical. Throwing in, so much money on AI, and I'm starting to think, I don't know why
I don't need AI in everything.
So I'll give you an example.
This version of AI, I should say.
Adobe, remember a year ago, said, we're going to buy Figma for $2 billion. They lost interest. It's just kind of faded away.
Oh, that's right.
The regulators have slowed it down. And then so at Adobe Max, which was last week, their big conference where they announced all their new stuff, they didn't even mention Figma. They talked about AI the whole time. And it's like, this is the problem. AI is the modern day squirrel. Squirrel. And I think that a lot of companies, perhaps mistakenly...
So you think it's a rotten squirrel?
It's a
that squirrel.
It's not a rotten squirrel. It's a squirrel puppet, and you're being fooled.
Holy moly!
By a squirrel puppet.
So does that imply that there's a human controlling AI?
Yeah. His name is Elon Musk. By the way, Elon's facing some competition. Did you see this? Amazon has just launched its first 2 internet-providing space satellites, the first 2 in what will ultimately be thousands.
I'm glad that's what you said and not Amazon launched its own social network, because I can't.
That's imminent. That's a coming. It's not just Amazon. It's not just Starlink. Now many other companies and governments, according to the Wall Street Journal. Sorry, Elon, their headline reads, the satellites of the future are heading to space right now. So it's not just private industry, it's also governments. And I think governments have learned the lesson after the Ukraine incident.
Absolutely.
Recounted in Walter Isaacson's book about Elon Musk. My Friend Elon. I didn't know that was actually the title. My buddy Elon, that Elon had prevented the Ukraine from using drones in an attack by not giving them Starlink access to that part of Crimea. Anyway, Amazon launched its first 2 satellites. Many governments working on these. Of course, probably a lot of the launches will end up using Elon's rockets, so he probably doesn't care. Getting to this point has taken a long time, says Luigi Pozzabone, which is actually his name. A grizzled veteran of the industry has been designing satellites for more than 30 years. Pozzabone is now vice president of satellite systems at MDA Space.
They actually use the term grizzled?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wall Street Journal. Grizzled.
Grizzled.
This must be a weekend article. Sometimes the weekenders get a little loose.
Yeah, let's throw in a little wood.
They don't call him Mr. Pozzabone. Pozzabone is now vice president of MDA, which is building satellites for Telesat Lightspeed, a forthcoming network receiving funding from the Canadian government. So everybody's getting into this.
Will we even be able to see anything through all of these satellites?
You thought astronomy, forget it. Did you see the annular eclipse?
No.
Neither did I. You know why? Clouds.
We're in a bad place.
Yeah, we aren't in a bad place. We're in a good
We're in a bad place for that.
Yeah.
We're in a not great place for that.
But did you at home see it?
Did you out there see it? Yeah.
It was a ring of fire eclipse because the moon wasn't big enough, because it wasn't, far enough to occlude the full disk of the sun. So you get this. We'll ask Rod Pyle. He might have seen it.
He probably saw it.
He probably went somewhere to see it. John, did you go somewhere to see it? No, he's an eclipse chaser. John Jammer B. Not John Ashley. Jammer B did not.
Wait, Jammer B didn't see it. That actually shocks me.
We were clouded.
I know we weren't in a good grade. You were looking for it, though.
I was looking for it. I was looking everywhere.
Was not.
I ran out into the deck and said, where's the sun?
It's got to be happening.
I can't see the sun, so I'll never know. Okay, let me talk briefly about about the new phone, and then we will get to the calls.
Sweet.
Love it.
Yeah. What?
This is a big old camera bump, unfortunately.
What's it made of this time?
This is made of white chocolate.
Nice.
And I think it's quite tasty. No, it feels like white chocolate, though, doesn't it?
It kind of looks like white chocolate.
It's soft and velvety. I believe it's either a plastic or a plastic. And then on the front, it's actually very bright screen, 2400 nits, brighter even than
the iPhone.
And a beautiful screen. I would say, in fact, DxOMark, I don't know if you could trust them or not, said it's the best screen they've ever seen. Has a face recognizer as well as a fingerprint, which is really sweet, except that unlike Apple, where, when you do the face, it goes and says it recognizes you, you have no idea.
Good luck.
It's like if you can use your app, it must have recognized me.
Yeah.
But there's also a fingerprint.
No vibration
available.
Either?
Nothing.
Wow.
Which is, here, I'll show you. I don't know if we can do this. Oh, yeah, you can do that. Look at that. Okay. So, there was something. I guess it recognized me. Or did it?
Maybe that's a circle going, yeah, see, that's not enough. The circle pops up to say.
Now, if I swipe up, it says press firmly on the sensor. So clearly it didn't. It just did a circle. Fortunately, the fingerprint's very fast.
Oh, that little circle is the Eclipse. It's just showing you the Eclipse.
Oh, it's the Annular Eclipse?
Yeah.
Yeah, now I see it unlocked. There's a little unlock down there. So I guess it shows you, but it's not.
Yeah, it was not immediately obvious.
Great. This, I'm not using a normal Pixel.
You're very minimalist.
I am using it. It's actually called Zero Launcher. It's a zero. It's kind of, but one thing you could do is swipe to the right and get the camera. Camera is very good. They've done a good job. Look, I can see my Steve Martin socks really well. It's got a macro. It's got macro is on. Tap to learn more. It's got 0.5 wide angle, 1x, 2x, and 5x. That looks familiar. Seems like somebody else might have that too. Very similar to the, I don't know if you saw that lens jump.
Yes, a little bit.
It went from, there you go. That's the macro. Now it's going to jump out to regular lens. It's got a pretty good 5x.
Ooh,
you can see Steve's texture.
It's very sharp. On Tech News Weekly, Jason and I tried the feature where you take multiple photos together,
right,
and then you can replace the faces, and that was actually quite impressive. I was impressed
there's
by
a
that.
lot of great AI. Let me long exposure. It has a lot of nice features. Let me go back, or you can also double tap this. Let me go back to my photos and find a photo that I want to remove something. So there's some chickens. By the way, I'm shooting RAW and JPEG, and the JPEG looks much nicer, but that makes sense because the JPEG is more processed. Let's say I'm looking, let's say I'm looking at a nice picture of a tree, and I don't want,
What's that thing in the foreground there with the chicken?
That's wires. I don't like those, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's edit that sucker. We don't want wires. Magic Editor. Try a new way to edit. It's magic.
Ooh, wow. Look at all the colors.
Sorry.
Very magic.
More editing, make editing, new AI experience. Can't quit. Try a magic edit. Not sure what to do? I'm going to do stylized. Generating stylized magic. AI is working.
Making colors.
Working, taking too long. I've lost that interest. I think I'll go do something
Exiting
else.
Screen.
Goodbye. There. Oh.
Whoa.
Whoa. Those chickens look really pretty in the sun like that.
Sorry, what has happened to the photo? It's not.
It's completely different. Oh, here's another one. Oh, it gave me a whole bunch. Oh,
that's fun.
Oh,
could we
get a new set of something's not right? No, I just
what
don't
even was that?
Well,
that's okay.
I want to do a better. Let's do a better picture. Oh, wait a minute. I want to do a race. Now what's going on?
Oh no.
Okay, it's not the fast working erase. I don't want those wires. You pick. Oh, I forgot to tell it what to erase.
So it's just thinking. It's like,
do you think there'll be no chickens left?
I hope so. I hope
there's no chickens. It just decided we don't like the chickens.
This is a landscape.
There's
photo.
only one thing to see here, and that's not a chicken. It's the barbed wire. Oh no, that's good. All right. I want to do the. I want to. Okay, so I'm gonna select this fence. You got to remember to do this before you press erase. Yeah.
I think we got it.
There.
Lovely.
Well, that's good.
Oh, I see. It's showing what it's
showing what it's
selected.
going to be erasing.
Got it.
Let's do some more. Okay, now erase that. Generating. I am thinking.
It's always providing you more than one option.
Generating. I am thinking. Oh, this is better be good. So this is a little disappointing.
Yeah,
I thought
because
it'd be a little
used to be faster because it wasn't trying to generate multiple options.
Well, look, the barbed wire is gone, though. It really is gone.
Yeah, bye-bye barbed wire.
Bye-bye.
Could we do a zoom in on that? Now that you've got one?
No.
No, okay.
I want to do something that's a little clearer. Let me see.
Yeah.
I had taken this picture because I wanted to
What if you
eliminate something. I can't remember what it was. Oh, there was some wires. I was looking for, and that's my mom. I don't want to eliminate her. Let's say we don't like that fence.
That's a lot of fence.
That's a lot. Maybe I shouldn't eliminate fence.
You want to take a photo of the
Okay, should I do a photo?
Yeah.
Let's take a photo.
I don't know why I can't think of what it's called. The mute switch on the ground.
The thing that
thingy.
you're tapping with your foot?
This.
That? Okay. Let's take a close-up. No, we don't want a close-up because I'm going to eliminate it. Let's say I know what we want. We want that without the wires.
Perfect.
Okay, so there's our image.
And we're going to make a wireless mute
that.
switch.
Okay. I forget how to do this. Got it. Please back up this photo to use Magic Editor. Well, how do I back it up?
That's goofy.
Please back up. I don't know what they want me to do.
Leo really likes his
All right,
iPhone.
forget it. This isn't worth the energy. Anyway, you get the idea.
You got generating.
It has special hardware to do that, but obviously it's a phone.
Tensor chip, right?
Yeah, and it's not going to... but this is actually the other thing that is every company... We were talking about how AI is the squirrel. We talked about this on Windows Weekly on Wednesday. Every company, including Microsoft, is putting AI processing in. Apple's done it for several years now. Intel is just now getting around to it with its new desktop chips, the next generation. Microsoft does it on their Surface. Microsoft calls it an NPU, a neural processing unit. So pretty much every bit of computer hardware you're going to get is going to have some sort of thing. It's kind of like a GPU that's capable of doing AI processing, and you could see that's what it does. So
I would love, maybe there is one, a setting where I could say, hey, don't generate 3 options for me.
Just give me one.
Just give me the one.
Maybe, if I play with it some more. Obviously, I'm new to it. I only got it the other day. So
check out Tech News Weekly to see Jason Howell's full review.
He's better.
He's had an opportunity to really play around with it because he got it from Google.
Oh,
so.
He has had it for a week longer than I. So, all right. I like it. If you're an look, I've kind of always said this.
Phone.
It really is. If you're an Android user, between Samsung and Google, and for a long time, Samsung really had the better hardware. I think this might be Google's finally, a phone that can beat the Samsung S23 Ultra in almost every respect. Doesn't have the 200x zoom, but that's limited use. I think if you're looking for a phone, and by the way, I got this for just around $500 because of they took back the last year's phone, and I got it through Google Fi. So and there will be more, I'm sure, discounts to get it. So
I've been very impressed with all of the major smartphone manufacturers working to make sure that trade-in value on last year or the year before.
Yeah, they really want to get you in the next phone, don't they? Yeah. I think it's also because the resale market is really good.
Exactly. I just read something that there's going to be soon a swath of pre-used iPhones as one of the major groups of iPhones that are out there.
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of people are buying it. It's probably smart. Last year's phone, reconditioned. Mm-hmm. The company that does it for Apple, that takes nearly all the phones that you bring to Apple for turn-in, says they still sell, what was the number? I think, can it be 18,000 iPhone 8s a day, or maybe it's a month.
iPhone 8?
8. Wow. Which I wouldn't recommend now because that is not going to get iOS 17.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, the people buy the older phone because unlike you and me, they don't care.
Yeah.
They just want a smartphone.
I just need a phone that works, and it's a smartphone.
Yeah. By the way, here we are on a Sunday. You're probably watching a football game instead of us. a big
It's
success.
okay. They're winning. Your team's winning. You
My
can watch
team
us instead.
Might be winning. We don't want to say. We don't want to spoil it.
Oh no, any team that you're
My team could be any team.
Yeah, it's winning.
Go Pack Go. NFL Sunday Ticket has more subscribers for YouTube, 1.3 million, than it did for DirecTV. At DirecTV, after several years of Sunday Ticket, only got to 1.2 million.
I don't know anything about sports subscription stuff, so I'm coming to you for this, professional. Does NFL Sunday Ticket, is that a deal that they've made with multiple groups to offer?
The whole NFL. So here's the way it works in the NFL. Like in many sports, if your local team is playing, your local broadcast channel will almost always have that. Mm-hmm. But then it's only in that part of the country. And so you may not. So for instance, if you're our Packers fan and you're sitting in San Francisco area, you can't watch a Packers game unless the network does a national broadcast: Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football. The rest are regional. Mm-hmm. So if I were out of town and I wanted to see my game, there'd really be no way to see it. Sunday Ticket shows all the games. So you can see, and this is why we got it, because our son is a Packers fan. So he can watch his Packers every Sunday.
But my question is, does the NFL offer YouTube and this the option?
So YouTube TV offers the Sunday Ticket. They spent $2 billion a year.
Is it exclusive?
Yes.
Okay,
with
that
the
was
NFL.
my question. Got it.
Exclusive except for NFL Plus, which is only on the phone or your mobile. Lets you watch games. But who wants
Does an
to watch
iPad
games?
count as mobile?
No.
Okay.
Who wants to watch?
That's silly. But maybe a lot of people are doing it.
And you can't AirPlay it. So, it's not as many. And
so
I think
YouTube
this is part of the
place to
deal.
go.
Basically, what they sold with Sunday Ticket was exclusive television rights.
Got it.
But, in the past, you had to get DirecTV to get it. A lot of bars did. Now you have to subscribe to YouTube TV, which is $75 a month.
Yeah, it's kind of pricey.
It's expensive. Plus the $250 or $350 you spend for Sunday Ticket, so it adds up. But do the math; it still doesn't add up to $2 billion a year. So, but this is what's happening with Apple, YouTube, and Amazon. They can spend more than they make on this stuff because they're going to make it up in other ways. So Google thinks YouTube TV is going to be a profit deal based on a variety of other things. Apple TV, Amazon Prime, same thing, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why it's difficult, I think, now for broadcast networks to compete because they don't have this secondary revenue model. Anyway, that's good news, I think, for Google. But again, it doesn't mean they make money on Sunday Ticket, which is kind of interesting. All right. Did you see Bigfoot was spotted in Colorado?
Oh, great. Yeah. By whom?
The Parkers.
Oh.
Yeah. Shannon and Stetson Parker. They saw the Bigfoot. They posted it on X, which is, of course...
Oh, so then it's true.
The place you post stuff that's for sure true.
So your reading of this suggests there's only one Bigfoot as opposed to a race.
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
So here's the weird thing. They were on a
species,
train. What do you see walking out there? And see that little thing right there?
I see nothing.
Well, you're not looking.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. Now I see
bigger.
Bigfoot.
I'll make it bigger. I see OJ. Where's Bigfoot? Watch. They're going by in a train. There he is.
Oh.
That sure looks like Bigfoot.
No, that's the next Star Wars. That's a Wookiee.
Is it a Wookiee?
Yeah.
Is it a guy in a Wookiee costume wandering in the wilderness?
Yeah.
He's obviously doing it for the train.
I think that...
He didn't wave like the bear in China.
When I retire, I will get a Bigfoot costume.
Yeah, do that. Just prank people.
And I will just go out into the world.
Where do you come down on the Chinese bear situation?
I come down hard is where I come down.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't. The Chinese bear.
Oh, this is like, I thought this was a huge internet meme.
It might be.
There is probably I could just Google China and bear.
China bear.
Let me just see.
Then you're going to get like an eBay sale for a bear made of fine china.
Maybe.
It'll take you to Temu.
It'll take me to Temu?
Oh, you mean the panda?
Chinese zoo denies...
Oh, the lion thing, right?
That these sun bears are people in costumes. Okay, but I want you to see it.
All right, let's see. Is this a person?
Oh, we got to watch CNN for a while to see this.
Our sun bears are not people in costumes.
That's what the China Zoo says. The bear looks a little bit like a human in a costume, especially when you see its wrinkly butt. Oh, they didn't show it. Too bad. Because let's go to maybe CNN will show it. It has a wrinkly butt and then it waves.
It waves?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think bears have that behavior.
No, that's not. And I don't remember sun bears looking like that anyway.
But that's a real tongue.
That is a sun bear.
Okay, so anyway, wrinkly butt sun bear.
Oh, it's a special kind of sun bear.
It sure looked like here's
related to the Bigfoot.
Here's another picture of the wrinkly butt is this going to be CNN again? Please don't. Yeah, there we go. See, there's the wrinkly butt.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't look...
No, that's a human being
standing.
standing.
This is KTLA now. Sorry. This is what I don't like about YouTube. You can't get the original anymore. Maybe the New York Times will give us a picture. I want to see. There's the wrinkly butt.
Yeah. That's a person.
Doesn't that look like a person in a bear suit?
The bear doesn't stand like that.
And then he waves. He's not. Bears don't wave.
And proportionally, it doesn't look right. It's just not. It's
Mike
wrong.
B is a believer. He says no. Bears wave.
Oh, well, okay. We have seen bears wave.
Sun bears do walk on two legs. It's not the two-leg thing.
It's the proportionality for me.
It's the posture, the wrinkly butt, and the hey guys.
Yeah, it's the way the wave is happening.
All right.
Anyway,
I would have thought you'd be all over the sun bear.
I've not heard of the sun bear. Yeah, I know about the other bear in China that it was a
Here's
dog.
an actual bear waving.
They were trying to make it look like a lion. Oh, that's cute.
Bears do wave.
Yeah, but
how do they get that behavior? They're mimicking.
I think it's probably operant conditioning. Yeah. I think they probably have done it enough, and it results in some sort of reward. They were probably swatting at a bee originally, and then everyone's like, "It's waving! We're so happy!
Here, have some steak!
Have some of my kettle corn. It's going to make you feel so great inside."
Don't give bears kettle corn.
Don't give bears anything they're not supposed to eat.
In fact, I have learned that you shouldn't feed wild animals anything. You know how I know this?
Because you have a menagerie at your home now because you've been feeding or someone has been feeding wild animals things.
17 turkeys. 17 wild turkeys.
Do they leave a wild turkey mess?
Yes.
Oh, no.
And my lovely wife, who is an animal lover, I frankly, I'm happier with 17 turkeys out there than 17 cats in here. So I'm not complaining, mind you. But she bought, I'm not kidding, 200 pounds of walnuts, 100 pounds of sunflower seeds. She likes to give them a varied diet.
Oh, good.
In our pantry is full of big, giant sacks of walnuts and sunflower seeds. And by the way, she gets them peeled.
Okay, good.
Because you don't want turkeys to have to. That's hard.
That's hard for them to
fingers. Yeah. So anyway,
they like to wave and not pull apart walnuts.
Don't feed wild animals. Because you don't want to know what preys on turkeys.
Oh no! Have you found some
turkey remains? Well, I don't know. The number keeps going down. It was 24 wild turkeys. I don't know.
You know, I think what mostly preys on wild turkeys are automobiles, right?
Not our wild turkeys.
Oh.
Because people really on our road are very careful.
Oh, okay.
I have yet to see a wild turkey in the road. Dead. I don't have the ad clipboard for today, so I don't know.
Let me check what you've got.
Would you check for me and see what we have to do? And then we will go to the phones at 888-724-2884.
How would you like me to send this to you?
Well, why don't you read the ad?
All right. You know what? We're going to take a quick break.
I'll jump in.
Perfect. We are going to take a quick break.
Because I know these guys.
To tell you about Melissa.
Oh, I do know these guys.
We're bringing you this episode of Ask the Tech Guys. You know Melissa. Leo knows Melissa. It's the contact data quality experts. And hey, you know, this holiday season is in full swing. So let Melissa help your business meet online shopping expectations. You can go ahead and increase your ROI. You can reduce waste and costs associated with lost and undeliverable packages and improve your customers' overall satisfaction. Leo's talked about getting multiple huge books from Restoration Hardware, I think it was.
Oh, yeah. We got like 4 of the catalog. And the thing is, it was the same name and address. So they should have known that they were sending duplicates.
Right.
What a waste of money and time. Melissa would have solved this with their amazing deduplication feature.
Absolutely. You need to go ahead and make sure that you are prepared. You know, retailers are gearing up for the holiday season, and here are some of the ways that Melissa can help you get started. You can start by cleaning out your contact data with Melissa's data cleansing solutions. All of your stale, outdated data gets replaced with verified, accurate information, such as replacing old addresses for people who have moved and adding new emails or phone numbers. That would help in that situation where, hey, we already have him once. We don't need to keep having him in here. And customers, they want a seamless experience with efficient delivery. So make sure your business is meeting their expectations with next day and 2-day delivery implementation. I want that. I want that stuff as soon as I can get it. And Melissa is going to help to ensure that addresses are verified and standardized at checkout so that you can make sure that the addresses are correct with their autocomplete tool. And not only does having a verified address at checkout ensure the address is deliverable, but it also cuts down on keystrokes, which is important to me, that I only have to start to type in my address and it takes care of the rest. It can cut that down by up to 75%, making your customer's experience quicker and easier. So you're going to get more completed sales that way. They also offer bundles and cross-selling to existing customers for a more cost-efficient way than finding new ones. Now, this holiday season is the perfect time to do this since customers are most likely shopping for others. Profiling your data can give you a better understanding of your customer base and those best-selling products, which can help you create more effective marketing strategies, know what people are interested in. And then also, matching and deduping your data will clean your database, allowing you to see a complete 360-degree view of each customer. This will also help you better understand your customers, allowing for more personalized marketing and a better customer experience. And this is the most important thing to me. Since 1985, Melissa has specialized in global intelligence solutions and contact data quality. Melissa continually undergoes independent security audits. It's SOC 2, HIPAA, and GDPR compliance.
I just realized Melissa's older than you.
It actually is.
They've been doing this longer than you have.
They've been doing this longer than I've been alive, and that SOC 2, HIPAA, and GDPR compliance, I think, is very important.
They're careful with your data. Make sure your contact data, your supplier data is all up to date. Get started today with 1,000 records cleaned for free. Melissa.com/twit. That's MELISSA.com/twit.
Thank you, Melissa, for sponsoring this week's episode of Ask the Tech Guys.
Yeah. They came back. They got the asteroid. They got the rocks, the Bennu rocks. We will talk to Rod Pyle, space guy, about the rocks coming up in just a little bit. Also, it's been delayed, but he's back, Chris Marquardt, and our photo.
That's right. It's time to pick.
Our photo, what do you call it? It's not a competition.
Assignment.
Assignment, yeah.
The results of the photo assignment coming up. And don't worry, he's not like Gordon Ramsay. He's not going to yell at you.
Terrible shadows.
Terrible. Let's get our first call in. John Ashley, who would you?
I've been seeing Michael popping his video in and out, so I think we should pick up on Michael in Long Beach.
Do I, or do you?
Looks like they're taking care of it.
Send to breakout room. Hello, Michael.
Michael.
Join us in the Stargate. You don't have to turn on video if you don't want to.
Oh, am I that hideous?
No, we want to see your gorgeous face. Hello, Michael.
Great.
How are you guys?
We're great. How are you?
Good. I got to tell you, between the pre-show and the start of the show, 1 Altered States and 2 OJ references. Only on the internet.
So I'm glad somebody's keeping track.
Micah, before the show, said, I want to do a sensory deprivation tank. And I said, well, whatever you do, don't watch the William Hurt movie, Altered States, before you go, because
you grow
won't.
A 6th toe.
Yeah, you'll grow a 6th toe.
What if one already has a 6th toe? I don't.
Well, you'll grow a 7th.
Where do you go to do a sensory deprivation
in Napa.
tank? I want to go. Let's go. We'll go together.
Let's do it.
We won't share the tank.
No. There are multiple.
You get your own
when you're in there.
Otherwise, the sensory would not be deprivated, right? Deprived.
What can we do for you, Michael?
Or every other day.
Join us, everyone.
A Plex question for you guys.
Ooh.
I was running for about 3 years a Plex server on a Raspberry Pi. And it worked fine. I had some trouble with it. I could never get had a USB, like a terabyte little notebook drive attached. Could never get it mounted. I ran an update on it. I realized it had been a year since I'd run any updates. So ran it. And then all of a sudden, when I unplugged the drive, put it in my laptop in my office because it was based like off wired in the living room, the main area. And all of a sudden, I would put something in and it wouldn't scan for file. I would scan for files and the files wouldn't show up. So I said, screw this. I went on eBay. I bought a Mac Mini from like 2014. Mm-hmm. And it's been great.
Yeah, that's probably a better way to
VNC
go.
into it.
Yeah.
I can, SMB, mount the drive on my laptop,
Nice.
toss the files in there. It's fantastic. The question I have for you, so that's a recommendation, I guess. 2 questions. I forgot what the first one was. But anyway, I'll go to the second one then. I got nervous on the radio.
Oh,
Wait a minute. Before you say that, you work in radio, obviously, right?
No, I'm a sometime podcaster.
Okay, because you got a fancy mic, you got fancy headphones, and you have a very
He's
fancy
rocking.
voice. It sounds like maybe you would work in radio down there in Long Beach. No, you no though. Huh?
A friend of mine works in radio, and when I found out what he made in radio,
Yeah.
I was glad I wasn't.
Smart man. It only took me 46 years to figure that one out.
I went into another career complete. And
Yeah.
he's on a major city classical station program.
Oh yeah,
Like
no
those-
money in classical. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's my question. So I have it's a terabyte drive attached, and it's getting a little full. And what I've been doing is I bought a 2 terabyte SSD, Samsung SSD, to back it up. And I could probably just do it and see what happens. But I'm wondering if I could and I've been cloning it with Carbon Copy Cloner.
Perfect.
And they're both exFAT
Yep.
format. Could it be as simple as me plugging in this 2 terabyte drive and then it would read it, or would I have to reconfigure things and like look for a new drive? I'm curious.
Oh, that's a great question. So you want to know, so first of all, Plex is a media server. Really good one we often recommend.
Mm-hmm.
It's free to use, but then there is a subscription. I bought the lifetime subscription because it wasn't that expensive.
$30 a year.
Yeah.
So it's not.
And it gives you all sorts of features. You can put you can rip movies from a DVD, put them on there. It'll download the cover art and all the information. It organizes it, knows about, if you're watching a TV series, it knows about seasons. It's really smart, gives you the summaries. I think we all agree now. There were a lot of other competitors like Myth TV, Kobe, and so forth, but Plex is clearly the top of the heap at this point. You can run it on a Raspberry Pi, as you did. In fact, that's the first way I ran it, but the processor on the Raspberry Pi is pretty slow. Obviously, It's a $35 computer. You're going to get much better performance even out of that old Mac Mini because it's Intel and it's a good processor. I run Plex on a NAS, a network attached storage, and for the very reason that you're trying to add a drive, because I want lots of storage. That's the one thing Plex does. Those movies, they're a gigabyte each. It adds up pretty fast. So a Synology NAS has enough horsepower to do transcoding. If you get a recent one, that's one of the things Plex will do for you, is it'll transcode it into different styles depending on what screen you're going to watch it on. It really is smart. It's really super good. Your question, though, it's interesting. Can I just add another drive to my Plex setup, to my Mac Mini, and it will just use it? And that's an interesting question. I think if you create a volume, maybe some of our Plex users, there's quite a few of them.
And what I was thinking maybe would just be to swap out the drive. Since it's cloned, I'll use this 2 terabyte
yeah,
drive.
you could do that. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
It
you
wouldn't be too much of a
maybe the
headache.
other way to do it is just plug in that second drive, and now you've got 3 terabytes.
That's true. Yeah. I've got everything. I was recently pruning everything. And it's amazing how you just, there was some, like, I'm a Christmas Carol fanatic. And there's a bunch of them that are unavailable, but they're on YouTube. So I downloaded them.
Isn't that great?
Threw them in,
Yeah.
put the year in, and I got the cover art that I needed.
Isn't that great?
It's insane.
I love that. I
got the
also
old-
I love the different versions.
The old
of that.
Alistair, what's his name? Alistair.
Alistair Sim, Reginald Owen. I probably have 20 different versions.
Wow.
of it.
That's
And then
Animated
there's the very famous that Andy Ignaco recommends every year, audio Patrick Stewart Christmas Carol.
Oh, the Patrick Stewart. Yep.
You got to add that
Absolutely.
to it.
Got that. Got many. But anyway.
That's awesome.
So
So people say, oh, it's just a piracy tool. It's not. I mean, this is a perfect example of somebody who wants to curate a collection, and that's what I think.
you
It's
can't
really
get it
fun.
anywhere else. If
Yeah.
I could buy it.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff in there I bought, but it's just there's stuff I can't find anywhere. So.
Yeah.
I use Downy actually on a
Yeah.
I was
great
going to
app.
ask.
Handy.
So yeah, if you use Downy with YouTube, it can extract the video. It'll get the highest quality, and then for Alistair Sims' Christmas Carol, which was
I had that.
done in the
I burned
30s,
that,
it's not going to be super great quality. So user 8700 says, go into the Plex settings, delete the DVR. I don't know if you want to do all this, and then reinstall with the extra drive in there.
Maybe, or I could just swap. I'll try swapping it first.
I think you could swap without any problem. I understand what you're saying, because something like TiVo, for instance, had to bless the drives. That's the phrase they used to make it usable with TiVo. I don't think Plex has any such restrictions.
Okay.
So,
one other quick question about it. So when I had the Raspberry Pi, it was in the living room where the main where the modem and I've got a TP-Link Deco mesh system. So the main Deco was in there, and I had it plugged in via I had to get a switch, obviously. But what I've done now, like most of the time, I'm the one watching this in my home office. I've got a pretty good size 4K TV, a sound bar, and a subwoofer. And what I did was I plugged the Ethernet cable from the Mac Mini into one of the ports on the Deco, one of the extra ports, because there's two on each little satellite.
Yeah.
And it works great.
Yeah.
So it's not technically hardwired from the main.
No, but yeah, a number of mesh systems, Eero started that, I think, and Orbi have Ethernet on the satellites. And so they're wirelessly connected to the base station, as you point out, but they have a very fast back channel. So it's not going to be as fast as Ethernet would be, but it's going to be maybe more reliable.
Well, I think it cuts off on like part of the back, like half of it is gone because it's connected. It thinks it's wired.
Yeah.
Because I get like 300. I think I'm provisioned for like 300.
Oh, that's interesting. So does it slow down Wi-Fi devices on that satellite?
No, it works fine. I mean, I have a little USB-C dongle for my laptop. I've got a Mac Air M1, and even on that, it's got an Ethernet port on it, and I get 300 down on it, as opposed to like 150 if it was just on Wi-Fi.
Sounds great. And you're not using the DVR function, are you?
No.
No,
Again,
okay.
I was just thinking, can I easily swap one drive?
Yeah. If you're not using the DVR, forget what I said about the DVR thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I think this is all going to work fine. That's only if you were using the DVR, so that it would know to use the second drive as well as the first.
Yeah, no,
but you're physically putting stuff on the drive, so that's not a problem.
Yeah, and it's so much easier now. I can just mount the drive on my computer, and as opposed to I used to run to the living room, unplug it, plug it in.
Oh,
and go
that's
back
frustrating.
That's
what kind of is this my life? I said to myself.
Well, that's why a NAS is such a great way to do this, because the NAS is available to every system on the network.
Yeah, that's too much of a footprint, I think.
It's
for
a big
my wife to take.
It's a big footprint.
Fair enough.
My NAS is in the closet, right next to the towels, and I just tell my wife, it keps the towels warm. What are you worried about?
It's a towel warmer.
This is a towel warmer, not a NAS. What are you,
nice,
crazy?
Hot, fresh towel, baby. All right, well, thank you, lads. I appreciate your time.
Michael, it's great to talk to you. Great to hear from you. And I hope you will continue to call. How's the Queen Mary? Can you see her out the window?
I can't see her out the window, but it's funny. I was watching an episode of The A-Team recently, and they shot it supposed to be in L.A., and hey, that's the Queen Mary. They shot
You're
that
in Long Beach,
in
baby.
1987. Yeah.
That's awesome. Michael, a pleasure
All right,
talking
thanks, guys.
to you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Always.
Yeah, there was a Jeopardy just the other day. Jeopardy had a picture of the Queen Mary and said, what is this boat or whatever? And I knew right away.
Nice.
All right. Hi, is the show live? Yes, JF Simon. If it weren't live, could I do this?
Whoa!
Ow, I just got dizzy. Holy
Oh,
cow.
no.
Coming up, Rod Pyle. Should we do a voicemail before we get to Mr. Rodney J. Pyle?
If you want to do a voicemail, let's do a voicemail. Yeah.
Let's do a voicemail.
Let's do a voicemail. Maybe you can look up a Space Force theme while we're listening to the voicemail.
Good. Thank you. Thank you for the tip.
Hi, this is Lewis calling from Westfield, New Jersey. My daughter recently got her driver's license, and ideally she would take the same route to and from work each day without being modified by the GPS app. I've tried Google My Maps, but when it gets imported into the GPS app from Google, it turns out that they allow for traffic and they suggest alternate routes. Yeah. And I've looked at Apple Maps and other solutions, but nothing seems to work. your advice would be greatly appreciated.
Oh, that's a really interesting question.
It actually, yes, because these things are too smart these days, right? What it sounds like you're asking for people who may be wondering, it's a route that remains the same for a new driver.
So he doesn't want to do any rerouting.
Yeah, no smart rerouting based on traffic or anything like that. The same route to and from where this person needs to go. Now, I mean, that doesn't account for road closures or other issues like that, of course.
Did you see the guy who drove off a closed bridge is suing Google? Saying,
come on.
You told me to drive off the bridge, so I did.
That's silly.
Actually, I think his family is suing.
No.
Off the bridge.
Oof. Oh, no.
So I shouldn't mock it.
I don't think that there's a way to turn off traffic alterations.
Turn off the GPS.
Yeah, you just
make your daughter drive like a human.
Yeah, yeah.
So you don't want her driving off any bridges because the GPS told her. I noticed. I don't know. You probably noticed this too. I bet you at home noticed this. I don't know how to drive anymore.
I don't know where anything is.
If the GPS doesn't tell me turn left, I just go and I ignore signs.
Oh,
I just drive.
Yeah.
Because the GPS will tell me, and that is that's a bad crutch.
I agree.
So if your daughter's a new driver, maybe we're not answering the question. Don't use a GPS. Can you? Here's the real question.
I just had a thought.
What?
So you are going to get in the vehicle.
Yes.
And you, as the person who knows what you're doing, and you're going to have your phone and you're going to turn on voice memos or some other tool, and you're going to hit record, and then you're going to drive the route and say, turn left here, following the speed limit.
Be her GPS.
Exactly.
Be the GPS.
Be the GPS.
No, but okay. So in the old days, before all this technology, you'd go to Google and you'd say, I need the route, or MapQuest.
I went to MapQuest.
MapQuest. Yeah. I need the route to Grandma's house. And MapQuest I used to print them out. Remember that?
Yeah.
But could you send it to your phone and have your phone direct you? No, I think you had to.
Yeah, you had to print
it out.
But that is not great for a new driver.
No, you don't want her looking at something.
Because you don't want her looking at something.
And frankly, I think with the GPS, you kind of don't want her having that GPS there. That's distraction. So
I think you should.
I don't think so. This is the question, and if anybody wants to help us, that'd be great. How is there a way to send GPS instructions to a GPS and not have it modify them? Just use it every time. I don't think so. I think it's the whole point of the GPS is to modify it.
That's what it's designed to do. It pays attention to traffic, and again, what happened? See, there's a scene. There's a scene in A Bug's Life. That's my favorite Pixar film. And right at the beginning, the ants are marching along, they're carrying food, and a leaf falls from the sky into their path, and the ants freak out. They don't know what to do, so they have to bring in a specialist who takes them around the leaf. So think about what happens if you have the same route every time, and then there's a road closure, there's something that happens. Now I think daughter was what you said, has no idea what to do. The leaf's in the way. And now what do? Just sit here and wait for dad to come and save me?
And if dad records it and she follows his instructions, she's going to hit the leaf.
Yes. So don't hit the leaf.
Don't hit the leaf.
There it is. There's the... I'm lost. Where's the line? And it's just mere, feet in front of the ant. But I think just teach your child the route, right?
There might be an app. Somebody's suggesting Map My Ride, which I think is for cyclists. But there might be an app that lets you send a route to the app and lets it follow it. I mean, there might be.
Map My Ride by Under Armour?
Yeah, they bought it. It didn't used to be Under Armour.
Got it.
They bought it, and it's for bicyclists. I mean, I don't know if you want to file a bicycle map. I think this is fraught with peril.
Yes.
And Leo and Micah's recommendation is you don't do any of this, but we're just coming up with things.
We're trying to give you an answer, but honestly.
You know what? Here's what you do.
Do the old school.
You print out the MapQuest and you put it on a whiteboard, okay?
Okay.
And you get a pointer and you sit her in front and you say, now, we are going to memorize this route. Just like, D-Day, right? You're going in right here. Your goal is to get here.
Little triangles at different places.
Yeah. You will be turning left 30 feet past the driveway. At that point, there will be a light. What will there be? A light. There will be a light. Wait till the light turns green. What color? Green. See, and she'll know. And then that way you've created a monster. I don't know what the
I don't think there's a good answer.
I don't know what the answer is.
Other than just teach the child the route, I guess.
Yeah. You could. Scooter X has a good thought. So with GPSs, you can say, I want to stop here, I want to stop here, I want to stop here, I want to stop here. So you can kind of force it by entering the instructions.
You've got so many waypoints.
By putting in waypoints to say, turn left at the Shell station, put a pin at the Shell station.
Yeah.
I think this is, in general,
I think
not a
just
great idea.
learn the route by human... You and your daughter in the vehicle. It's a good question.
Actually, and this is actually a good exercise for a new driver.
I agree.
How to do route planning on your own without the GPS. Oftentimes, kids' first car doesn't have that fancy GPS in it, right?
And it's a good idea to get that spatial awareness.
Yeah. So you don't drive into the lake.
Exactly. It can't mean that. There's a lake there. The machine knows what it is doing. My favorite part is that later on, he's complaining about it. And he says basically that computers are trying to bring about the destruction of humanity because it told him to drive into a lake. It's
so funny. If you don't know this, Micah used to do a podcast where they would watch every episode of The Office and comment.
Yes.
And obviously that was
it's called
one of them.
Somehow I Manage.
Somehow I Manage.
It's
they're still
completed.
Going, right?
No, it's done
they
now.
Finished?
Yeah, I was there for the final episode. They invited me back on, which was very nice.
That last season, it takes a certain something to do that last season. But you're a man, and you did it.
I did it. I did it.
Ladies and gentlemen, in just a moment, we are going to be joined by a very handsome fella on a boat. But first, a word from our sponsor. Should I do that now, or is that too soon? No, let's play the Space Force theme. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, astronauts of all ages, here he comes, direct to you via satellite, Rod Pyle, spaceman.
Oh, man, and is he a spaceman or what?
Here's the Pyle.
I need some of those glasses. Woo!
Interplanetary robots, true stories of space exploration. This guy's writing all the time. Here's another one, amazing stories of the space age. Here's another one, blueprint for a battle star. Wow. Serious scientific explanations behind sci-fi's greatest
conveniently
inventions.
Handy.
He's also the editor-in-chief of this fabulous publication from the International Space Society. I'm sorry, the National Space Society, Ad Astra.
Wow, and all of the spines are just so cracked.
I've read every one of them, cover to cover, over and over again. No, these are my
what's
office
this note
versions.
You've made here?
I have them all at home, too.
Uh-oh.
And this, the best-selling, this was a huge bestseller, wasn't it? First on the moon on the 50th anniversary of Apollo. I just saw an article, like this was like the bestseller of all time or something. Like it really did really well. Did you sell 1 million copies?
Wait a minute, he says.
What article? No.
I saw an article. It said
the tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands of copies.
But that was enough. Yeah, that was enough. So, hey, I have a solution for your caller's GPS problem, I think.
Ooh, okay.
All they have to do is buy my 2017 Jaguar XF, which has a navigation system that is so glacial it might as well be painted onto the screen. It'll just show them. It'll be like a Thomas Brothers guide right on the screen. It'll just never move.
It's amazing. We kind of take these GPS for granted, but it's amazing how rapidly this transformations happen. I bet a great many of you had a Thomas guide in the back seat. So you can get around town. Certainly if you live in L.A., you have to.
When we drove to Colorado years ago, we used the MapQuest printout, and it was like, no one lose that.
Somebody in the chat room.
That's a 21st century thing, yeah.
Somebody in the chat room said, and I thought this was kind of almost a piece of poetry. Coffee, what did he say? Coffee circles on my Thomas guide. It was just very beautiful to me. It was evocative. Anyway.
It's like guidance haiku, yeah.
Yeah, guidance haiku. There's your start. I want by the end of the show.
By the way,
yes.
Interesting thing about Thomas guides. I used to run a production department at a large commercial production facility, television spots. And I had like 30 guys working for me. All of them had Thomas Brothers guides. And we discovered in the first year we were using them that there's a deliberate mistake on each page.
Yeah.
So that they could track
There's a word for that.
And my guys would always find it, that dead-end road that said it went through or something. They'd call and say, it's wrong. And, of course, they had to go to a payphone because we didn't have cell phones. Anyway, very small thing there. Hey.
They do that on purpose, so that if somebody steals the map, they know, because we intentionally we did this wrong. And, yeah.
Because I called them to yell at them, and they said, yeah, it's on purpose.
It's on purpose. Map makers have done that for hundreds of years.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's I wish I could remember the name of it. There's an actual name for the thing. Anyway, I will remember someday.
Columbus running into Florida.
Yeah. Who knew?
That wasn't on the map. What's
on
going
the map?
on here?
Yeah, we just wanted to make sure you weren't stealing it.
So, guys, did you see the partial eclipse yesterday?
We were talking about that before the show. It was a little cloudy here in Petaluma. We did not. Did you? The annular eclipse.
I had seen an annular before.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right. I had seen an annular eclipse before, and this one was going to be partial. And I've seen lots of partials, so I actually did other things. But it was fascinating. We weren't, unfortunately, on the West Coast here, at least down where I am, we weren't along the line of the eclipse that came in. If you want to see the true ring of fire effect, the annulus around the shadow of the moon, you had to be in Oregon going down through.
Yeah, there's a path. This was Albuquerque, New Mexico from Texas. NPR, where it was that totality.
Wow.
Is a perfect.
Yeah.
Are we sure that's not just a Photoshop image?
I don't think NPR would lie.
You just have to question everything.
October 14th, Albuquerque,
if they
New
knew,
Mexico.
exactly.
But, you still can't. Okay, so here's a problem, okay? So you still can't look at an annular straight up.
No.
There's just too much sunlight. It's going to hurt your eyes. That guy's using a welding glass.
Not a good idea.
That's bad juju.
Is
it? Because he'll end up with cataracts just like I had.
Even still.
Don't do this.
Don't do that.
You can get these glasses. I remember the last total eclipse, people were giving out these glasses. It has to be sufficiently filtered out so you don't burn your retinas.
And you have to make sure they're ISO certified glasses. And of course, anybody can print that on there.
That's true.
So don't just go on Amazon.
I remember in Amazon, there were some fake glasses.
There are many.
Yeah.
And there were people that got hurt. So you need to go to Celestron or, go to a local store, Kohl's, Lowe's, Walmart.
What's the best thing to do?
Target.
And I remember this.
Look at the ground.
Look at the ground. Because you'll see shadows of the annular eclipse. For instance, tree leaves. And I remember this outside the brick house. John, I don't know if you were with me, but we were seeing all of these, and you see hundreds of these little mini eclipses on the ground as the shadows come through. And it's really quite remarkable. Look at that. That's a pretty cool thing. Do not take a paper plate because you look stupid.
Yeah,
but these are glasses that are appropriate. And I remember
those are approved.
The last total eclipse you could source these, but you can't see through them at all if you just put them up and look at them. They're really dark.
And Celestron, among other companies, makes little plastic binoculars, sun viewing binoculars that give you a little bit of magnification. So those are handy too.
Yeah.
And of course, the reason we had an annular eclipse is because the particular position the moon was in its orbit was a little further from Earth, so it's smaller than the sun, just in terms of apparent size.
I was trying to think this out. I was trying to logic it out in my mind as I was talking, and I got it wrong. I thought if it's farther, it would block more, but no, if it's closer, that makes sense. It blocks more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and because the moon's orbit is both elliptical and tilted with respect to the sun, that's why we only get them occasionally. But as a full-blown agnostic, at least, if not atheist, I have to say the few times I sort of lean towards the religions when I realize somebody figured out how to make the moon the exact right size to eclipse the sun perfectly.
It is kind of amazing, isn't it?
Weird. You know? Yeah, that's a little
It's kind of amazing. And, why is a year exactly a year or a month exactly a month? And how come the full moon comes every month? So, all right. Forget I said that.
Okay. So, and in 2024, we got the real thing happening. So I presume you guys are going to dash out.
I know John is.
Do
You're
a show
not, John?
from location, right?
John has given up his avocation as Eclipse chaser. You've seen one, you've seen them all, basically. You've seen three.
You've seen partials, you've seen them all. You see a total eclipse, you just want to go back.
We actually flew to Australia and got in a boat to see a total eclipse off Cairns many years ago. That was fun.
Wow.
Well, Mike has got an expression on his face like he's never seen a total solar eclipse.
No, I don't think so.
It is uncanny.
So for this
it
one,
almost
all
does
you got to do is drive to Texas.
Oh.
Real close.
NBD.
Let's all go to Texas.
Yeah.
In next year.
Yeah,
right?
2024, April 8th.
I'm going to buy
that's soon.
my Eclipse smart glasses.
Yeah, very quick.
Okay, we're all
It'll
going to
come
Texas.
Over Mexico, cross Texas diagonally, and then exit over Newfoundland. So, there's a whole swath of states you could be in. Would you like the list?
That's actually my this title of my autobiography, Exit Over Newfoundland. But anyway, I didn't want to talk about.
Made me feel like Johnny Cash: Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania.
That's not your song. That's Johnny Jett's song. Your song is Space Force. Sorry, buddy.
I know, and Johnny Jett and the other guys get these cool songs, and I get. Oh God!
To a certain audience, it's cool.
I was hoping you would talk about the Rocks. To be honest with you, I'm much more interested. From Bennu.
From Bennu.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And we had a really bad space joke on Friday's podcast installment from a friend of mine named Martin Lawler. How did it go? What did the janitors say about the Bennu Rocks? I'd love to see them once all this dirt is cleaned up.
Careful. It's all about the dirt. This is a 7-year mission. 7-year mission to get these. It does look like dirt, doesn't it?
Yeah. Ain't much to it, but it's a bigger sample they expected. They thought they maybe got about 2 ounces because they had trouble closing the jaws on the sampler got jammed up, but they did get them closed. Turned out they got about a cup, so 8 ounces, which is
a cup.
The only previous sample return was just grams, so this was great. They're just starting to look at it. My understanding is they have found organics, which is, kind of this is the holy grail of looking at asteroid material.
Let's be very clear, because I think people confuse it. It is not life.
Right.
It's the building blocks.
It's not
carbon,
not
right?
popcorn.
It's just carbon.
Right? It's the very basics, like organic carbon.
Yeah.
But, the further along it gets in terms of amino acids and all that life science stuff, the more likely it is that we'll eventually figure out, okay, so life came from asteroid impacts on Earth. We get it now.
One NASA astrobiologist said, we picked the right asteroid. 4.7% carbon by weight. That's a lot of carbon.
Yeah.
You need
It's
carbon for
chock
life.
full,
Our life, we're carbon-based life forms, as I learned from Star Trek.
Me too.
But it isn't by itself enough to make life.
No, you got to have other things going on. And that's why I loved that scene. If you were a fan of Star Trek, The Next Generation, when Q takes Picard back to the beginning of time and they're staring at a puddle of goo, and he says, now watch this. This is magical. Oh, it didn't happen. And it was the moment where life was supposed to start on Earth. And of course,
and did they wink out suddenly because life never was started because they were observing?
No, the script writers weren't that observant.
That would have been cool.
Travel.
Right? That's
yeah. That would have been the last episode. For sure, right? If you wanted a series finale, it's like, they're gone.
So that's exciting. I'm also excited about Psyche.
Yeah, so finally we got a launch. I think it was a day late on a Falcon Heavy. A couple of my photographer friends went out to shoot that. And one of the things besides Starship, I got to go see a Falcon Heavy launch because it's got something like, it's got multiple sonic booms and those 2 boosters come back. And I just want to see that because it would be cool. But yeah, Psyche's a big metal asteroid. We did an episode of that too with the PI for the mission, the principal investigator.
They say $10 trillion worth of metal.
Well, yeah, but, that only works until you start returning big chunks of platinum to Earth.
And then the value of platinum crashes.
Like,
that was my first thought.
This pound of platinum for $40. Anybody?
We got so much. But it's good for industrial uses. I mean, there are reasons you would want this platinum.
Yeah, the big thing about finding metals in space like that is using them in space. So while there is a school of thought that says, "Oh, let's bring it back to Earth because it's valuable," if you can manufacture goods that you use out there, you just saved yourself a small fortune launching big chunks of metal that are made into things.
Yeah.
So that's where it's good, and it doesn't have to be platinum. There's all kinds of metal on the moon too. So. But yeah, this will be an incredible mission. It'll take, I think, 6 or 7 years to get out there. It's not quick.
We do. I want to, I blast Elon a lot, so I want to say thank you, Elon, for the Falcon Heavy and the Starship, because SpaceX really has become our primary way of getting into space these days.
Well, and you just gave me a great segue. Thank you.
Oh.
You lovely man. Because I want to thank Elon for not being Boeing, because we just got the announcement that Starliner, which was contracted with Boeing to replace the shuttle, to take astronauts to the space station, in 2014, they were given almost twice the money that SpaceX got, and they still haven't flown this thing with people in it. They've had one successful robotic test flight, mostly successful. So they're saying, we're going to have another slight delay, not before April of 24. So you've got this crew that's been training and waiting since like 2017, expecting to use this thing to go to the space station. Can you imagine how envious they are of the ones that get to fly on the Dragon, which has worked 7 times now?
Yeah.
So they've had problems with sticky valves. They've had problems with, we forgot the stuff we wrapped the wiring in is flammable. Oops. Faulty parachute lines that can't support the load if there's one parachute out, and bad programming that didn't allow the first one to actually, rendezvous with the space station, which is what its whole raison d'etre is. So it's really frustrating to watch this. I mean,
why is Boeing so bad at this when Elon is so good at it?
Well, but Leo, when you and I were young, Boeing was it, right?
Yeah.
The 747, they were this incredible company.
And then the 737 MAX, and it's been downhill ever since.
That's actually an interesting pun. You should put it the 737 MAX, but I won't follow that.
It's been straight down ever since.
Some people have said it's ever since they moved their headquarters out of the Seattle area. I don't know.
And by the way, I shouldn't say Elon, because it isn't just Elon. In fact, there are some who say it's exactly not Elon, that Elon put the money up for it, but it's Gwen Bell and a very talented team at SpaceX. Elon gave them the playground, but they are the ones who built the objects. And so credit to them, absolutely.
Yeah, credit to the team. Gwen Shotwell is a guy named Tom Mueller, who was his propulsion chief. But Musk did have a lot to do with it, because he's kind of a crazy man, and he pushed these people beyond any boundaries that a normal human being would set for themselves. So you got to give him credit for that and for being a self-educated engineer. I mean, I can't understand that stuff, and he just sat down and got it from books. So, it's a mishmash of both. But yeah, I mean, they made it work, and they did what big bad Boeing couldn't do. I think partly maybe also it's because Boeing's publicly owned and it's got shareholders.
Maybe.
So,
maybe.
Anyway, it's just so frustrating to watch this. If we had been doing the Apollo program just through Boeing, I'm just going to say it, we would have landed the first people on the moon in like 1984. So it's really good that, we spent more money back then.
Yeah.
But anyway, so hopefully this year, SpaceX will have a competitor. We'll have 2 ways to get the space station, and Boeing will fly out their contract or something.
Hey, I saw a great old documentary the other day, and I thought of you because I know you worked at JPL for a little bit in publicity. Voyager to the Final Frontier came out in 2012. I know you know this documentary, and I just really enjoyed it because Voyager, which was launched in 1977, is now close to 50 years, and they hope to get it running, keeping it going for that long till 2027. Has been this most amazing success, and they show the team dwindling down to just a handful of people who've been with it. They're now old. They're now in their 70s and 80s. And they're still kind of running the project until Voyager 1 and 2 finally shut down. And, it reminded me of the story that we just heard a couple of months ago about losing the signal to Voyager and then getting it back. And it's just really cool that these people are so dedicated, spent their entire life supporting Voyager.
And just, to just give us some context in terms of the technology, Voyager was launched in the late 70s. using technology from the late 60s and early 70s. So when it's running data that it receives from Earth, the command strings and all that, when it's recording those uploads, it's doing so on reel-to-reel tape.
Yeah. It's amazing.
And it's running it back and forth.
But it's still there.
It's been working for almost 50 years.
Although they talk in this documentary, and this is a 10-year-old documentary, about how they have to selectively shut down systems so they don't run out of juice. They're slowly running out of juice. But not just the fuel to reposition it, but even the battery capacity is slowly depleting. So
it's a plutonium plug.
Oh, it is. That explains it. There wasn't solar, huh? Oh, that's interesting.
No. Way too far out. And we had extra plutonium then. There's a lot less of it now. So it's a chunk of plutonium surrounded by thermocouples, and the plutonium's still well within its half-life. So that's not the problem as much as the thermocouples degrade over time.
Yeah.
And so they're down to just a few watts. And it's amazing that we can pick it up. And then when they lost the signal, I thought,
that's the end.
At the power levels, that was it. And it wasn't supposed to do another sweep to try, because it's got a fail-safe protocol that may or may not work. It wasn't supposed to do that till mid-October, like now. But they managed to ping it and get the signal back, which I thought was brilliant. And like you say, the staff is like, 12 people or something. Their yearly budget's a couple $1 million. And as I think I've mentioned here before, mission control for Voyager is a couple of banquet tables and a couple of old Sun workstations.
Yeah.
I mean, using ancient language. I don't even know which one they're using, but it's just incredible. And they have the same principal investigator, Ed Stone, that started with the mission.
It's so cool.
He just never left.
It's so cool. Yeah, I think he's in his 80s now. And it's their goal, of course, these people to see it to the end. And they would be extremely happy if they were able to get it to 50 years, which would be 2027. So we're watching.
They're shutting off bits of it to try and keep other parts working.
It's well now beyond the solar system. It is the farthest human object ever from our planet, and still learning things. It's really incredible.
And commands are over 10 hours out and back. So it's way out there. But most of the instrumentation they shut off was stuff they really wouldn't be using out there anyway, is my understanding.
Yeah.
So it is still doing its job. And New Horizons, which is well behind Voyager, but has also left the solar system, which the NSS, who, by the way, the group I work for actually commissioned that documentary you're talking about. We ran a campaign, I think I mentioned to you before, to try and save New Horizons. And I don't know how much of it was us, but they did decide to extend the mission. So Alan Stern to stay on.
Fantastic.
And they're going to look for another Kuiper Belt object to rendezvous with. So, we get to go look at another creepy rock out beyond the edge of the solar system.
It's pretty darn exciting.
Cool.
This one of the reasons we realized we need a show about space. This Week in Space with this man here, Rod Pyle, and his partner, Tarek Malik from space.com. It is a wonderful show. If you're not yet subscribed, twit.tv/TWIS. Subscribe to it because not only bad jokes, but great information about something that is still back, frankly, and very exciting. Really, really.
And join Club Twit, because that's where we started.
Yeah, it really is thanks to the club we were able to get that launched. So thank you, Club Twit members, and thank you, Rod Pyle.
Thank you so much, Rod.
If you want to get, you're still doing the Ad Astra magazine. If you want to subscribe, join the National Space Society, nss.org. And Rod is the editor of this, among other things. Are you working on a book?
I'm working on trying to get a book contract, which is a different conversation. You'd think after putting out 4 books, 2 of which did very well in 2019, that it would be a slam dunk. But we're visiting lots of publishers who are hemming and hawing because.
Do you have a proposal, a pitch?
Oh yeah.
What? Yeah. Can you tell us, or is it secret?
It's kind of off the books until I get a yes, but I can tell you that it's part of the original Apollo team and one of the only people that's never had a biography written.
Ooh. I love it. Hanging in on my wall in my office at home is the original Apollo 11 computer, which is the most primitive thing you've ever seen, the guidance computer to get the LEM on ground. And it's really, to me, it's one of the most important objects in our history.
It's kind of a holy relic, huh?
It is a holy relic, yeah. Hey, thank you, Rod Pyle.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day, and we will see you in a month.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
take care, guys.
Don't forget, Chris Marquardt coming up, our photo guy. Our photo assignment will be reviewed momentarily, but before we go on, now I think it would be a good time to talk about our wonderful sponsor. Ask the Tech Guys is brought to you by ACI Learning. ACI Learning, you may say, well, who are they when they're at home? Well, you remember IT Pro TV. They've been with us since the very beginning. ACI Learning is IT Pro TV and a lot more, and that's what's cool about it. IT teams will really benefit from training from ACI Learning. They kept all the fun, all the personality of IT Pro TV and those great studios in Gainesville, but now amplified with robust solutions for all your training needs. The thing about IT Pro always was the content they created was engaging. It was fun to watch because you're watching professionals working in the field who are passionate about the subject matter, and that communicates. It makes it fun to watch, and that's what makes it such great training for your team, because they love it, they appreciate it, and they don't tell them, they learn. They learn. Short form content, about 20 to 30 minutes each, which means you can watch it on your lunch break, on the way home, wherever you want. And now it's 7,200 hours to choose from. And that's all current fresh, because they're making new material 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and there's 7 studios there in Gainesville. So, and that they need to, because tests change, the topics change, there's new software, there's new certs. So they're always keeping it up to date. And it's all on demand, means you can watch it when you want to. I know you know the name IT Pro TV. Now part of ACI Learning, IT Pro's expanded capabilities provide more support for IT teams. They keep their courses updated in every aspect: Microsoft Cloud, AWS, CompTIA, everything you need to know. One proud team leader said, I had 110 engineers in the field. We had dozens of IT Pro accounts. Last year alone, they passed over 40 certs. That's really great. Your team loves it because they're getting new skills with great entertaining content. You've seen this boring content some of these other guys do. That's one of the reasons ACI Learning has 80% completion rate. The videos are engaging, so your team loves watching them. They love getting those new certs. It makes them more valuable. It makes them more valuable to you. You'll like the new skills gap analysis tool from ACI Learning. It's called Insights, and it uses AI to identify holes in your team's capabilities. It gives management and individuals valuable assessments. It will assist you in professional development planning. Your team will love it because they don't have to watch a whole class, for instance. They find the skill gaps. They say, you need to watch video 13 in this course and this, and it's great. They will fill those holes. Your team will be empowered. Your training will be personalized. Your business will be protected. IT Pro TV, now ACI Learning, keeps your business from risking redundancy by consistently offering the most up-to-date certs and courses available, provides you with a personal account manager to make sure you're not wasting anyone's time. Your account manager works with you to ensure your team only focuses on the skills that matter to your organization. No more redundant training. And it's demoralizing if you're a tech, an IT professional, and you have to learn something you already know. It's like, come on, I know this, guys. So this Insights tool is so useful because they're going to learn something they don't know yet. That's great. By the way, ACI Learning has ISO certification. You know you're getting the world-class training your team deserves. Keep your IT team up with the speed of technology. Visit go.acilearning.com/twit. You'll get a free trial as a Twit listener and up to 65% off an IT Pro Enterprise Solution Plan. So there's discounts for individuals, big discounts for teams. It really depends on the size of your team. Fill out the form. They'll tell you exactly what the discount is going to be, up to 65%. Go.acilearning.com/twit. We love these guys. We've been with them since they started as IT Pro way back in the day, I think 2013. We're so proud of what they've done and how much they've accomplished. And I tell you what, every time we do a meetup, when we did one in Green Bay, I meet people who say, thank you for IT Pro, thank you for ACI Learning, because I have a great job now, or I got a new job, I've got great skills. That really gives me a nice warm feeling. Thank you. Well done. Go.acilearning.com/twit.
Awesome.
Call time.
Do you have an email? Oh, we do have 3 calls too.
I want to pick up one of the phone,
calls.
actual phone caller.
Well, please, John Ashley, shall we talk to Cameron?
Oh, we've got some phone calls.
Phone callers? How about Brian? Hey. On the phone.
That's 888-724-2884.
Is that me?
That's you, my friend. Where are you calling from?
I am calling from Sisters, Oregon.
Oh, Sisters, Oregon. You know where that is, John.
Outside of Bend.
It's just near his sister, actually, which is weird, but that's, how that is. Okay, outside of Bend. So what can we do for you, Brian?
So we are going on a trip around Asia, and I want to know phone-wise, safety-wise. So I have a G-Power 22 with the Google Fi plan.
Okay.
And so we're going to be, Japan and Thailand and Singapore. And,
are you going to China is the question? No.
No, I'm not getting off the boat. I'm not, no.
Not getting off the boat. So that would be the only place where security might really be a concern. I think you can, even the Singapore government, which is not exactly a democratic government, but is still a friend. And I think you'd be okay in all of those places if you're worried about, are you worried about getting hacked?
Well, yeah, just so a Motorola phone versus, I'm Android.
Here's the only relevant question. Are you getting security updates?
Yes.
Okay. So that's the thing to do. Let me find my my phone. I'll just show you, is to go into the settings and see how recent your security updates are, because that's really what's going to tell you if that phone is secure. Well, let me go to that. As long as you have the latest security updates, let's see where here it is, system update. It'll tell you, here it is, this is a Pixel, but it'll be similar on the Motorola. What version of Android is not the key? You're probably still on 13. 14 is the latest, but that's not the issue. It's the Android security update. Now, because this is a brand new Pixel, it's up to date through October 5th, which is they do the security updates usually in the first week of the month. If you are August or thereabouts, July or August, you're fine. Very few phones actually are as up to date as the Pixel. Obviously, Google pushes the Pixel first. The way it has to work with a third-party manufacturer like Samsung or Motorola is Google does its updates, sends them to the manufacturer. The manufacturer has to then vet it with their hardware, and all of them have unique software as well. Motorola is pretty pure. So do you know what your most recent security update is?
Well, it says Android version 12. I don't know.
That's not an issue. Again, that's just for features. So it is a little behind on Android, but that's not the end of the world at all. By the way, lately these updates haven't changed a whole lot. It's right below that. It's the security update. Those are the patches that make sure that your Android is secure.
Okay.
And do you see a date on this security update?
Scooter X is suggesting you might be able to find it in security and privacy if it's not showing up there.
Yeah. I was looking in the settings.
That's where I would go to.
Where it says system. Let me see if it's security and privacy.
So security. That's green lock.
Yeah, it has a system and updates there as well. And it will also there say, in this case, security update from October 5th. You also, actually, this is a good one. Google Play System Update, August 1st. That's also important because the Play Store is where you download apps, and you want to make sure it does the scanning to make sure those apps are secure. You want to make sure it's up to date as well. It's the same with Windows. It's the same with Mac. It's the same with Linux. The version of the operating system is about features. The security updates are what you really care about. And in the case, for instance, of a Mac or an iPhone, you might not have the latest operating system, but if you have the latest security updates, you know that you're running fairly secure.
Someone in the chat says their Moto G Power's last update was March 14th.
It's not ideal, but it's not awful. It's in this year. And that's pretty typical. March is a little. I would much prefer to see it a few months old. That's 6 months old. That's actually almost 7. That's kind of a little bit.
And Leo, how important do you feel pairing the security update is with using a VPN while traveling overseas?
I don't think you need a VPN while you're traveling. That's VPN isn't going to make you more secure, particularly. Is that what you're worried about, Brian?
No, not necessarily. Just knowing that, carrying this phone around,
you're not hackable.
Different places. And
stuff. Here a couple of things I would do if you're not using.
I don't put a lot of stuff on my phone.
Yeah, so. It's fine. Here's a couple of things I would do. If you're not using Bluetooth, turn it off. It is a vector for attacks. Bluetooth is actually fairly risky, so turn it off if you're not using it. If you do use Wi-Fi out and about, your hotel's probably okay, but if you use it out and about, I would probably use a VPN in that case, because you are out and about. And I don't know about the G-Power, but most Android phones have built-in VPNs from Google. Mm-hmm. And that's sufficient.
Google Fi gives you that.
Yeah, Fi gives you that. So that's sufficient. Fi, I think, is very secure. This, as much as, we sometimes knock Google because they're ad-supported and they seem to really want to know information about you so they can sell ads. They are probably the smartest security people out there. So in terms of pure security, I think you could trust Google. Privacy, maybe not so much, but but security for sure. So, make sure you have two-factor on all your accounts that allow two-factor, especially banking and credit card accounts, so that people can't get to your money. Turn off Bluetooth. Make sure you have the latest updates, not just on your operating system, but on all your apps. Go to your Play Store. Sometimes the Play Store gets stuck, and refresh it and get all those updates. I think it's fine. I travel with my Google Fi phone all the time, and I don't even think about any of this. The one real risk is crossing the border back into the U.S., because we know that Customs and Border Patrol has the right to take your phone without probable cause and look at it, download it, search for stuff. They recently lost a case. The good guys recently lost a case where an attorney whose phone was confiscated, even though he had global entry, the highest security level for a U.S. citizen re-entering the United States, they still took his phone, and they took everything off of it. And he appealed, went to the Supreme Court, and lost. So we know that Customs has that, or not a Supreme Court, it's federal court. The Customs has that right. So, that doesn't bother me either. I don't know what he did to trigger that. But I wouldn't even worry about that. I think you're pretty secure. How about your laptops or your tablets? Are you going to bring extra stuff?
Yeah, my wife has to bring a Chromebook with her to do work, and so she's on a Chromebook.
That's good.
You'll be good there. Good choice. Yeah.
Somebody's saying, and this is good. Thank you, Santa Barbarian. Turn on the SIM card pin. That's a great idea.
Just don't forget it.
Yeah, don't forget your PIN. But that keeps people from extracting information from the SIM card. And you might call your carrier as well and make sure you have a PIN set up with carrier. Fi, I think, is really secure. I have never heard of a case of SIM swapping with Google Fi, so I trust them a lot. Now, somebody else has a Moto G Pure, not the G Power, that's more recent, August 31st update. That's fair. That's much better, sufficient. March makes me a little bit nervous. So check and see. I think you're probably all right. Here's another one, Android 12 with security patch from August. The security patch is what you worry about, not the Android version.
So switching to a Pixel phone or anything wouldn't necessarily be.
Well, if you want an excuse to do it, go ahead.
You would get the most recent security update.
You know what you really do it for? Because you want to have great pictures when you're in Singapore and Taiwan and get all those really great pictures. You don't even really need, with a good phone, whether it's an iPhone Pro or 14 Pro or the new Pixel 8, you don't need to bring cameras, honestly. These things are so good now. Our most recent trip to Europe, I tested this thesis with the iPhone 13, and I was very happy with the pictures I got.
So, yeah, I mean, when it boils down to it, if the question is, would a newer phone be more secure? I will say a newer phone will have more recent security updates. And in that way, yes, it would be more secure.
For instance, I think the Pixel 8 has a secure hardware enclave. I don't believe the G-Power does. So it's little things like that. So their secrets are stored in a... 7's very good too. Yeah. If you look at the 7A. It's very affordable and a great phone. It will be better than the G-Power for sure.
Okay.
And a couple $100, $300. Cool. Yeah. Hey, have a great trip. Are you on a boat?
We're going to be on a boat for 14 days and then to Thailand for 2.5 weeks.
So jealous. Oh, so jealous. That is going to be a wonderful trip. You're going to have a great time.
Well, yeah, we're looking forward to it.
I bet you are.
Enjoy.
Yeah, don't let anxiety about security bother you. You're fine.
Don't.
Yep.
Just checking some boxes.
It's a good thing. You're smart to pay attention. Bring a good VPN. That's not a bad idea. Just what you do on open Wi-Fi's, including the hotel and the boat's Wi-Fi, can be risky. Also, if you are on a boat, make sure you turn off data roaming when you're at sea, because you don't want to use
battery.
The cellular at sea on the boat is very, very expensive.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Nowadays, it doesn't join that automatically. Was my experience.
Okay.
But if it does, you're really going to be sorry.
Yeah, and if it doesn't join it automatically, then it's probably spending a long time looking for something to join.
Kill your battery.
Yeah. And if it does join it automatically, then it kills your bank. So really,
I always turn off data roaming. Now the nice thing about Google Fi is you get free international data. So not free, but it's the same cost as it is in the U.S. So when you get ashore, you can turn data roaming off. But yeah, I think most of the time you want it off. Hey, have a great trip. When do you leave?
Safe travels.
December, beginning of December.
Perfect. Oh, great time to travel too. Oh, I'm so jealous. Have a great time.
Thanks for calling.
We will. Thank you.
All right. Take care, Brian.
Thank you.
Yeah, and a Chromebook is a good choice because I think even then you're pretty safe. Plus, before you go through Customs and Border Patrol, if you really don't want anybody looking at your stuff, do a power wash. The beauty of a Chromebook is when you power wash it, it's back to its original state. And then you get home, you log into your account, and all your data is there.
I thought you meant power wash your body, and that.
Well, that's always a good idea. Yeah. No, don't power wash your body. That's a problem. All right, what are we doing now here?
Do we have a lot of voice? Well, actually, it's up to you.
Let's go through a couple. There's a couple people been hanging out on the line.
Okay. Well, let's. If they care enough to join us live, then we should talk.
I agree.
Let's try. I want to say Scott or Jesse. I don't know. We'll see who it is.
Push a button and I'll find out.
*6 to unmute yourself. And remember, you can call in 888-724-2884 to join us and ask your question.
Your first name and where you're calling from, please. Caller.
Hey, this is Jesse. I'm calling from Lexington, South Carolina.
Hi, Jesse. Welcome.
Hey, so this month, it is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And with the last call you just had, I was thinking, I use Quad 9 as my private DNS.
9.9.9.9.
Web report. Mm-hmm. I checked the dark web report from Google, the results about you. CyberCard has something called online privacy protection that removes my address and my information from the white pages.
I love that.
And then there's this new app from Consumer Reports that just came out called Permission Slip. And I just tried it. And
I like that.
Data from McDonald's, and Burger King, and all these different places. It made it as easy to opt out of my data as swiping on Tinder. It used to be where I had to take this big long list of data brokers, and I tried to go through each one. And it used to take me an entire day, and now it only takes me a few minutes. But it also got me thinking. I looked at youradchoices.com and Google My Ad Center. I have been trying to get rid of Temu and TikTok ads. I've never clicked on them. I've never interacted with them. I'm not interested in them. I've even tried clicking that little X you see on the corner to try and tell Google, no, I'm not interested in this ad. And I still keep getting stuff from Temu.
So, Jesse, this is really
what I could try to do.
Yeah, this is really important. It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. That's great. I did not know that. Let's celebrate. Woo. There is a difference between cybersecurity and privacy.
Yes.
They're kind of linked like that, a little bit, like tip to tip. But they're different things, and they have different goals. So cybersecurity, the goal of keeping a bad actor out of your system, is actually probably a little bit easier to achieve, especially for normal people. It's a little more challenging if you're the target, if you're a spy, you work for a 3-letter agency, or if you're Scarlett Johansson. There are people trying to get your data. But you and me, no one's trying to get our data. And so sometimes they call this the threat model. What is it you're worried about? What is it you're trying to protect against? For us, it's not as hard as, it's not that hard. There are lots of things you can do. We always talk about password manager. One of the most common ways people get hacked is with password compromise and something they call credential stuffing, which is basically reusing a password on all the sites to see if they can get in. That happens. It just happened at 23andMe, and a lot of information was exfiltrated. So use a password manager, generate a unique password for every account. All good password managers will tell you if the password you're using on a site is either reused from another site or has been compromised. Pay attention to those warnings. Fix those sites. That's step one, and it will go 90% of the way. 99% of the way is if you use two-factor authentication wherever you can. It doesn't have to be a fancy YubiKey or some, you don't have to use pass keys. Just get an authenticator. I use 2FAS. It's free. It allows you to encrypt and then save, back up your keys to Google Drive or iCloud, which is nice because then it's easy to move from phone to phone. 2FAS, and generate two-factor authenticator codes everywhere you possibly can. Certainly on any banking. Unfortunately, a lot of banks don't trust their users, and they're afraid that if they do two-factor with their users, they won't like it. So they'll authenticate via text messaging or on your phone. That's not as good, but that's better than nothing. Turn it on wherever you can. Those two things alone, for most people, are going to protect their security. But now you're talking about a second issue, which is privacy. This is a great app, by the way, Permission Slip from Consumer Reports. It's iOS and Android. And this is attempting to take advantage of opting out. Now, because, thank you, GDPR and the California Privacy Protection Act, because these laws are telling advertisers and data brokers, in fact, Governor Newsom in California just signed a bill last week that said you have the right to remove your information from data brokers. Now, it doesn't go into effect till next year, but that's going to be very important. And they have to pay attention. They have to act on it. A lot of times you try to remove it from a data broker and a week later it's back. They can't do that anymore in California. And as California goes, so goes the nation. So that's what's happening here with Permission Slip. Consumer Reports has given you a variety of things that you can say, I request to opt out. Now, companies are not great in honoring this, but you can try. There's also a setting on your browser called Do Not Track that literally doesn't do anything because companies have managed to lobby their way out of listening to this. But using a good browser with privacy protections will help. I don't use Chrome or any Chrome derivative. Remember, Google, 80% of its profits come out of advertising. They're not strongly incented, in my opinion, to protect your privacy. Use Firefox. It's a very good browser, and it does much better job. There are others like Brave that will also protect your privacy. If you're using Firefox, the Firefox extension uBlock Origin, make sure you get the Origin one. uBlock Origin will do a lot to protect your privacy. I think you can do a lot. You're smart. Using Quad9 is a great choice. That is a Swiss company that does an alternative DNS. And I think it's a very good choice. I use nextdns.io. I pay for that. They do the similar thing. In fact, they block a lot of ads. They block a lot of ad data brokers. I see you nodding.
Yeah, I use it as well.
Yeah. But Quad9 is free, and it's fine. It does a good job. Actually, Cloudflare offers a similar service with Quad1. They have 11111, and they have 1112 and 1113, giving your higher levels of protection. But I think that's a good idea. Protecting your DNS in many cases, block ads and keep you from seeing ads. And if the ads don't show up in your system, then the advertisers aren't getting any data about you. So it really is helpful if you want to do that. We're an ad-supported network. I'm not against ads. Some people just say, I don't want to see any ads ever. Ads are what makes a lot of what happens on the internet possible. But you also have the right to privacy. And I think it's completely reasonable to say, I don't want to be tracked. And Apple's ATT is a good choice. Turn off tracking on your iPhone. When a new app launches, you get a choice to say, don't track me. It's kind of similar to this, the permission slip program from Consumer Reports, permissionslipcr.com. The problem with this, honestly, is when you check that box on Apple's ATT, you're saying, oh, Apple, don't let that app know anything about me. Don't let that app look at other apps. But Apple knows everything. Your ISP knows everything. There are plenty of places that know everything, regardless of what you do. And those are the ones that are selling your information. Well, data brokers are getting information from your ISP. Apple doesn't sell your information, nor does Facebook, nor does Google, because that's actually the crown jewels. Those guys use that information to sell ads. So they know about you. It's pretty hard not to let Google, Apple, and Facebook, Meta, know about you.
Right.
If you use any of their stuff, they know. And you can't turn it off. You can't say, I don't want Instagram to know what I'm doing.
Because you're doing it on Instagram.
And you're logged in. So you've given them all the information they need to track you. But you should know they're not selling that to data brokers. That's such valuable information for them.
Yeah, they wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
It's better for them to
They're
keep it.
selling that to the people who are selling underwear and ED pills and believe me, I bought a lot of weird stuff on Instagram. Those people know what you bought. They know who you are. They know where you are. They know all that stuff. And you can't really stop that, even if you check the box for Apple's AT&T. ATT just keeps them from looking at other apps on your phone. It limits the kinds of things they know. But if you're logged in to Google or Facebook or any Facebook app, they know, or Apple, they know everything you're doing. So privacy is different from security. Certainly secure yourself. You can do the best you can with privacy. You know, I just went back to Facebook because I want to keep an eye on what's going on with this information, especially after the horrific attacks in Israel. I want to see what this information is being foisted on people. I don't like to go to Twitter either.
Yeah.
But I do because I want to see what's being put out there. That's part of my job. And so I rejoined Facebook, acknowledging that by doing so, I'm giving them a ton of information. For me, it's not a big deal because everybody knows everything about me anyway. I talk about everything, and I'm not trying to protect my privacy. But if you are concerned about that, there are things you can do. They're just of limited use. Easier to protect your security than your privacy these days. Anything you want to add? I went on a long harangue.
You covered it. You covered it. Okay. It's a lot of the stuff that I'm doing already. You know?
Yeah. I think, we have our own best practices based on everything we know and have learned from listening to Steve Gibson over the years and so forth. And I think we do the best we can.
Mm-hmm. And even when we do the best we can, there's still places where things slip through.
I still get a gosh darn Instagram ad for that bag that I just can't.
Mine is always, I don't like how much Instacart is talking to other services.
Instacart?
Yeah.
They know what you buy
They
at
know
your
the
grocery
groceries
store.
I'm buying, and they tell others about what I'm buying.
So that's what we call first-party data. The problem with first-party data is Apple can't block it.
Right.
Because you have to be logged in, and Instacart has to know what you're buying. Apple can't do anything about that, right? That's part of the deal. Here I'm getting an ad on Instagram for hearing aids. Now, it knows I'm an old man. It doesn't know that I already have hearing aids, but I have to say I'm very tempted.
It's like, oh, these look cool.
Yeah, there's my son, by the way. You should watch all of his videos because he cooks wonderful. Oh, Henry, stop it. Let's see, what other ads? Yeah, they know I like coffee. Mm-hmm. Here's a Phillips Latte Go. Wow, it's 25%.
Stop
off.
it. Scroll. Oh, get out of there.
Okay.
Don't look at the light.
Cashmere crew sweaters. It knows I'm a preppy, right?
Oh.
So, by the way, Instagram to me is the perfect example of what ad tracking can do. Mm-hmm. I have bought so much stuff I wish I hadn't bought on Instagram. It's very good, right?
Yeah, it is.
The best.
I've purchased things.
The best.
Yes, it is. It's very good at what it does.
There is nobody better. In fact, I go back and look at the Christmas presents Lisa has given me. Half of them were on Instagram.
Yep.
The other day, I'm saying, oh, Lisa, that woman has the same sneakers as you. And then I realize, oh, they're Instagram
What is that?
That's a sharpening device. For some reason, I guess because I watch a lot of Saul Hank.
I've got a great sharpener.
Ads.
That looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
See, look.
See?
No, it's got.
I watch Saul Hank's cooking ads, right? It's cooking videos. So they know, oh, you must be a cook. And this isn't the only company that advertises sharpening devices to me.
These turkeys.
Those turkeys. Oh, and here's one from Temu. We know you work hard, so you can't get away from Temu. Sorry. They know I'm on an iPhone, right? So what are they going to show me? iPhone charging stuff, right? You can't get away from them. More coffee. This one's Nespresso. Oh, no, wait a minute. No, it's an espresso competitor.
Oh, is it mushroom? It's probably mushroom.
Yeah, no, it's compostable pods, Nespresso pods. They're cost less and they break down in 90 days. You know, I might just shop
Mine
for
knows
those.
I like green.
Can you take the next call? What are you getting? Green stuff?
Green.
How does it know you like green?
I don't know, but I actually have received as a gift a hat that was an Instagram ad before. So I think it might know that too, because the person who bought it was also in the house and would have tapped on the Instagram
Lisa's
ad.
always buying me Instagram stuff. If I go back and find out, well, you don't have a green phone. I don't know how it knows you like green. It's a blue phone. Anyway, Brian, that's some of the. I'm sorry, Jesse. That's some of the stuff that we think about. I think you're smart to be paying attention to this, but I think you can also drive yourself crazy because even though both Mike and I do all of our best practices, Instagram still knows what we want.
Just the other day, there was something that actually annoyed me for the first time. I got a notification from Instagram that said, hey, you might want to check out this thing you interacted with before.
Oh,
and it was
annoying.
the ad. I thought, that's too much.
Yeah. But there's no way to stop that.
No.
Except not to use those apps.
Yes. That's the agreement.
How far, but that's the trade-off, right? Instagram's free. So we get this free app. YouTube is free. Meta is free. Facebook is free. So we get these free things. How do you pay for free things? We're not cheap. We're using a lot of bandwidth.
Storage, the bandwidth, all of that. Yeah.
They pay for it with advertising. And that's how the internet is run.
And the 2 support professionals they have?
YouTube, we for a long time recommended uBlock Origin. YouTube video has a lot of ads. I pay for premium because I don't want to see the ads and I want to support YouTube because I think it's a good thing. A lot of people use uBlock Origin. YouTube has figured that out and is now blocking uBlock Origin.
It's blocking the block?
Blocking the blocker. So this is a little cat and mouse game that's going to go on. I would submit, pay attention to your security, understand privacy, and then really think about how far you're willing to go. If you really want to be private, stop using Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google. Apple, I guess, I would not have a smartphone, to be honest. That is a huge invasion of privacy. How far are you willing to go? And then you decide, well, it's worth it to me to use a smartphone. So I'm okay. That's all I can say. Jesse, does that all make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. Thank you for the explanation.
It's a great question.
Anything else you want to share?
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah.
No, everything that Leo said, we have a very similar threat model.
I took that one over, but
and privacy model. Yeah. It's very similar. Yeah.
We are in agreement.
The only thing that I do is that I will occasionally, and I'm getting the wrap up gesture, so I will wrap this up.
We don't wrap things here. This is not radio.
The only thing that I'll occasionally do is it's for my own personal sort of satisfaction. If there's something on Instagram or some other place that really does get me, and I do think that it's cool and I want to check it out, I will put down the device. I'll wait 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I will go onto a different device. I will turn on my VPN. I will go into private browsing mode, and then I will check it out so that it can't link me between having served me the ad in one place and me going and checking it out in the other place.
Do you use a credit card?
Stop, Leo.
No, I'm just saying.
Yes.
Okay. So let me just tell you, the credit card companies feed that information back. The company doesn't need to. You did all those things. The company knows exactly who you are when you bought it. Yeah. And they say, oh, yeah, he saw the ad. We know we saw the ad 10 minutes later he bought it. Google actually offers a service. Get this.
Oh, yeah.
That ties your credit card purchases to the Google ads you see. How do they do that? Well, they must have a deal with the credit card companies, right? Or the merchants. But they can, when you buy ad on Google, you can say, yeah, I'd like to see when somebody that sees the ad buys something with a credit card. Doesn't matter if you did it on the same device.
Right, because the credit card. So, yeah, I guess I can stop doing that. No, it doesn't matter.
No, it makes you feel good. Do it. The real point is, it's if you can be private, but you have to go live in a cabin.
Right.
Pay cash, not have electricity, not have a TV set, not have a telephone. That's ultimate privacy. Anything less private, anything beyond that, you're going to give up some privacy. And it's up to you to decide how much do I want to give up. And it's all a matter of convenience and living in the modern world. We're going to give up some privacy. That's the way it is. I'm not as bleak as Scott McNeely when he said privacy is over. Get over it. I think you can protect some privacy. You just have to decide how much. And now we give you, this is one of the things we talk about. We give you the skills to do this, but understand there's a limit to what you can do. We're going to be back. You're watching Ask the Tech Guys. That there, Micah Sargent.
That there, Leo Laporte.
And more of your calls at 88, 87, 24, 28, 84 coming up. All right. What do we want to do? Let me do an email.
No, because it's one.
It's one.
So we've got...
Oh, Chris Marquardt's in town.
Here.
Hey, Chris Marquardt. Now I know why you were rapping us.
Hello.
Our photo guy from chrismarquardt.com. He leads those wonderful expeditions. The last one was driving around in a Tesla, right?
Yes, in Eastern Europe. Hi, good to be back.
Yay, we missed you.
back.
Did you have fun?
Oh yes, we did. I came back from Eastern Europe, from the Eastern European Electric Photo Road Trip. Had a blast. We had two amazing groups, 3,000 kilometers driven electrically, 12 fast charges, 8 borders crossed, lots of places photographed and explored.
Wonderful.
So, that's so cool.
And another one's coming up, right?
Not this year, no. I'm planning to do more of these next year, for sure.
DiscoverTheTopFloor.com if you want to find out about Chris's workshops. Yes. And please put me on the list for Bhutan the next time you go to Bhutan.
We'll talk offline about
that. Chris, we had a photo assignment.
By the way, YouTube thinks I'm a young expecting mother. I get ads for baby formula.
Congratulations,
so
Chris.
Whatever I'm doing, I must be doing something right.
Well, see, that's the problem. If you do a good job protecting your privacy, then you get ads that are completely worthless.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure which is worse.
But it gives me a good feeling because they apparently don't really know who they're talking to.
My ads on Apple News are terrible because it doesn't know enough about it.
That's a good sign.
Yes.
That's a very good
I'm
sign.
doing it right, but then I'm like, well, I kind of miss Instagram. It's terrible. It's bad. Anyway.
Chris, what was our assignment this week?
Our assignment this week was adorable. We had, last month, a long assignment. We had a lot of people hand in photos. By the way, we have just crossed, the Tech Guy group has just crossed 14,000
Wow. Some big growth over the last couple of months. That's fantastic.
Yes, absolutely. So, I'm totally happy about this. So, Tech Guy group on Flickr, and here are a lot of the photos, and of course I have
a lot of babies, a lot of dogs. That kind of figured.
Of course. So I was looking at them, and they're all amazing. But of course, I tried to find a theme, and I went with animal photos.
Oh,
so here we go. Because these are adorable. Tom Downing. That's the first of the 3 I chose. Goats. Goats can be scary, but these are like, look at them. They're eating. They're shot from above. They're all looking up at the photographer. So, I think that's pretty adorable.
If I ignore the one in the bottom left, then yes, incredibly adorable.
It's the eyes, isn't it?
I can't do the eyes.
Don't look at the eyes. Just don't look at the eyes. Okay.
That's then I'm fine. Especially the one in the far right that's really small and it's so cute.
I love goats. But the problem with goats, they're so smart. Oh, isn't he sweet?
Look at the little chewing. Oh, my goodness. I just want to pet it.
Tom, nice job with your goats.
Good goats,
I feel like those
Tom.
are Tom's goats.
Tom, you got good goats,
He's
pal.
got good goats, buddy.
All right, next one.
That is so cute. Squirrel.
This is a photo by Ray Cardenas.
It's almost like a mohawk.
Just the look on its face. It's like a very human expression. More like taking a picture of me.
It's so
You're
exciting.
taking a picture of me.
This is adorable. Cool. Adorable squirrel.
And then last but not least, a regular demi-lente photo of a cat, a black and white photo of a cat covering its eyes. And we had to put a cat photo in here.
There's a softness to this photo, Chris, that I really like. It's almost got like a creamy quality around the edges. How's that done?
Well, if you use a smartphone, that's what portrait mode does, and portrait mode emulates lenses with big apertures that let a lot of light in, and these also have like on air quotes proper cameras. Those have that what's called bokeh, and that's what this is. This is not taken with a smartphone, but you can get a similar effect by using a smartphone and by zooming in by using a telephoto lens. That helps you throw things in the foreground and the background out of focus.
Okay, cool.
So there we go.
Yeah, that is I love that last one is the winner for me. That especially, that's such a gorgeous shot. And I'm not really even a cat person, but that is very adorable. Yes. So I guess that means it's time to draw for the next assignment. Exciting.
The fishbowl is here. And of course, we are going to pull another word out of the fishbowl. And this time it is, here we go, shiny.
Shiny. Okay. Shiny.
That's photographically interesting because just a couple of tips because
is it too late for me to submit my adorable picture?
Oh, you brought
Oh, there's an adorable. She's got shiny eyes. Does that count?
Very good. Yeah. Well, if we have a close up of the eyes, that would count for shiny. Right. Okay. In general, I mean, when you ask for shiny pictures, they might go to their cars or something. Keep in mind, you're photographing the light source. Mm-hmm. So you are photographing the reflection of a light source in something shiny. And with tinier, smaller, shiny things, bigger light sources work better. The best example is look at like commercials or photos of smartphones. You know how they always have like a diagonal bright light source over that?
Yes.
That's because they're using a big light source, a big softbox to cast that kind of a reflection there. So, just a couple of things to keep in mind.
Awesome. Shiny for the next photo
just
assignment.
1 month ago. I missed adorable by
that much.
Oh, Lily, I'm sorry. You
are adorable, Lily.
You don't get to be adorable. She is pretty adorable. Chris Marquardt is at discoverthetopfloor.com. Check out all the works he does. He's got several great books, a book about film photography, a book about wide-angle photography. And now with these new iPhones and Pixels, I feel like we can do some pretty good wide-angle photography with those camera phones.
Definitely. Yeah. These are amazing. Smartphones are just amazing cameras these days.
Kind of my favorite thing for street photography is wide angle. Thank you, Chris. It's always great to see you. And remember again, shiny. If you are not yet on Flickr, just there goes my adorable. I lost her.
Goodbye, adorks.
If you're not on Flickr, it's free to join flickr.com. And then once you're on flickr.com, don't forget to join the now 14,000 strong Tech Guy group. You'll know you're in the right place. And thanks to Renee Silverman, our moderator. She's a great photographer in her own right, but also is the one who will accept your submissions over the next couple of weeks for Shiny. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Take care, my friend. It's always great to see Chris, and it always inspires me. Really, the whole point of this is to get out and take pictures.
While you were out, the beautiful photo of a cat Just gorgeous. This black and white cat where the cat was sort of pawing over its face, and it was
that one?
No. It's all black and white, and there was this creamy quality to it. It was captured with a telephoto from a distance, and zoomed in, and it just was striking. And that really inspires me to want to use the telephoto lens on the iPhone to try to capture some of that.
I suspect a lot of these photos these days are coming to us from iPhones or smartphones. This one, no photos, please?
Yep, that's the one.
That's the one? Let me just check. No, that was a Canon 5D Mark IV. That was a very pro camera. And you're right, it was a 200 millimeter telephoto. You had to sneak up on that kitty.
Yeah.
Cats are very camera aware.
One of my dogs is, and the minute you point anything at her, she immediately is doing something else.
Not going to do that. Not going to do that. Let's take... what do you want?
We got to take a break.
Take a break, and then when we come back, more of your calls. You're watching Ask the Tech Guys. When we take breaks on the video, they're this long.
Yes.
But on the audio, sometimes they'll put a commercial in there. That's just so you know what we mean.
Oh, yeah. If you're going, why are they saying this?
We don't do it in the video for some reason. Should I do the email?
All right, let's do an email.
He doesn't sound too happy about that. It's probably a printer question. Oh, no, it's even better.
Is it a complaint?
HTTP error 431.
Whoa.
That's, I know, I'm not familiar with that one. On my desktop, Windows 11 and Chrome, when I go to, I don't know if I should say this site, podbay.fm, I get this page isn't working, error 431. However, when I do it on Edge, it is working.
Request header fields are too large.
So that's interesting. Let me just do it here. I don't know what Podbay. Open the Podbay door,
That's
Hal.
exactly what I thought.
I'm sorry, Dave. I can't load that site. So it's a podcast network. And I was able to do it just fine on Firefox.
Mozilla says that there are two reasons why this may happen. One, the server will produce this error if the referrer URL is too long. So it could be a short URL that's expanding and it's too long. Or if there are too many cookies sent in the request.
Ah, interesting. So that would be one thing you could do is try clearing your You don't have to clear all your cookies. When you clear cookies, you can find the ones, look at all the cookies in your browser, find the ones for Podbay, clear those out. I would also clear your cache. That you can do safely. You don't want to clear all the cookies. Some of those cookies are, to save you from logging into Facebook, for instance. That's a cookie. So if you clear them all, it's not the end of the world. It just means that you'll kind of have to start over with some sites, log in again, things like that. So I would just start by clearing the Podbay cookies and clearing the cache.
It is odd that it's working in one browser, right?
And my guess, well, then that's why we would think it's cookies or cache.
Yeah.
Right, because that is specific. It's not Chrome itself. In fact, I wonder, do I have Chrome on here? I don't, alas. Do you have Chrome on your computer?
I do believe.
So launch Chrome. I'm just curious if you can get there.
Okay. And what are we going to?
Podbay.fm.
Podbay.fm.
Close the Podbay door, Hal. Open the Podbay door.
It loaded for me.
Okay, so it's not Chrome. We figured out it's not browser specific. It is specific to your environment, and almost certainly clearing the Podbay cookies and clearing the cache will fix that. I think that's all you need to know.
There we go.
I think that's the answer.
Yeah, we got one.
And thank you, Thomas. It's a good question, actually, and that's an interesting error. You never see that error.
Nice to learn about new errors.
431, yeah. Now let's do something, John Ashley.
I guess we'll go to another phone caller.
Wow, John Ashley loves the phone callers.
Let's do you.
Ooh, I want error 451. Unavailable for legal reasons.
Wow, that's Fahrenheit 451 for those of you at home.
*6. Mute.
We have picked you up, and I don't want to say the name because we don't know if it's your first name or last name, but you should be on the air. And if you tell us your first name and city, we'll believe it.
My name is Norm, and I'm calling from San Diego, California.
That checks out. Hi, Norm.
How's everything today?
It is great. We're having a wonderful day. How is it in San Diego? I bet the sun is shining.
It's sunny and bright and warm.
One of my favorite places in the world, San Diego. What can we do for you?
Well, I have been listening or watching your show for quite a few years.
Thank you, Norm.
And I've been streaming it to my Samsung Smart TV.
Good.
Up until about 4 weeks ago, when the live stream will no longer work.
How? So almost certainly you're using an old, obsolete app. We never made any apps. And many third parties, very kind fans and friends, made them for a variety of devices. But almost all of them have now gone out of service.
Well, I'm going through the browser that's built in.
Oh, but it's a Samsung browser built into your TV set. That's interesting.
And you go to what? Twit.tv/live?
I get to twit.tv, but I can't get the live.
Interesting.
Can you watch podcasts, like non-live shows? If you go to a show and click the play button, will that play?
I wasn't able to get, I get a list of podcasts, but I never get anything that streams live. I checked the certificate, says it's from GoDaddy and it's good until 2024.
That's
April
correct.
Of 2024.
Yeah, that's our certificate.
I guess that's not the problem, but I get the Twit logo and the schedule that doesn't show me a schedule. And then three little
this sounds like
squares that bounce.
Yeah, so what this sounds like to me is that I wouldn't be surprised if there was a firmware update to your television.
This is one of the reasons we don't really like smart TVs.
Right, and it sounds like it's toggled off scripts on websites. It sounds like you aren't now gaining access to things that are embedded in a web page, which is why that schedule wouldn't be showing as it should.
Let me give you some alternatives instead of the browser that you'll prefer to the browser. There probably is a YouTube app on that Samsung TV. You could use that and go to the Twit channel. The live feed is there, as are all the shows. So youtube.com/twit. You could do that in the YouTube app instead of the browser. You could, yeah, that would probably be better. Let's see, what other ways could you? Well, I would say that's probably the best. That's when people say, "Hey, your app stopped working." First of all, we say, "Well, it's not our app. Somebody made it, and he's gone on to better things." And use YouTube, because almost everybody has a YouTube app. And we are on YouTube. Yeah. The live is on YouTube. All the shows have their own YouTube channel. It's one of the things we benefit from YouTube. It's one of the reasons I pay them a premium, because I really think YouTube is a great service to mankind. So that's one way you could do it. Twitch, we're on Twitch. We're on Kick, K-I-K. There are a variety of other streaming services you could use. What else? What else?
Yeah, I think I tried Twitch and I wasn't but directly from the Twit URL is where I tried to stream it.
So you're on twit.tv.
Right now, I mean, I've always used YouTube.
You're clicking the live button on. So I went to twit.tv, and up at the top there, kind of circled in blue, so you won't miss it. The live button, and that actually is YouTube Live. And you've tried you're saying I've tried the other ones, Kick and Twitch, and they don't work for you either. I tried
Twitch. Yeah.
So I'm wondering if it's maybe also this player that we're using.
I really think
embedded on our site.
I don't know, because when he went to the schedule page, he also wasn't able to see the schedule, which is an embed from Google Calendar. I think that the browser has, for some reason, stopped showing embeds, and I think that it's probably a security feature. We've seen, in the past how embeds in websites can take over things on smart TVs. So I think that the smart TV did a firmware update to try and keep you protected, and in doing so, it has disabled what you were able to do in the past, which was view embedded content on a web page.
Okay, makes sense to me. Yeah, I checked for updates and it said everything was up to date. There were no current ones.
Yeah, this is a problem. Samsung made a refrigerator with a browser embedded that no longer works.
Yeah.
Your refrigerator works fine, just not the browser.
Your refrigerator is running.
Yeah. So I'm sure that Samsung has a YouTube app, right? And I'm not saying use the browser. I'm saying use the YouTube app.
Mm-hmm.
The YouTube app. Okay, I will give that a try.
I think that'll work better. You're going to get a better picture. It'll just work better in general. This is YouTube, but it's a YouTube embed, and the reason that's a security flaw is because you're embedding the contents of a web page on another one. And there are all sorts of potential problems with that. It's called an iframe, and it's all sorts of potential problems with that. And so it may well be that Samsung has just decided, we don't really want you to do that. That we don't want you to get your TV hacked.
Yeah.
So, but YouTube should be just fine.
Okay. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you for watching all this time. I appreciate it. Thank you, Norm.
Yeah, the first time I thought it was the problem was on your end, but I can get it on my computer, so I know that wasn't the issue. Just my TV.
Thank you for testing that. I appreciate that you looked somewhere else to see that. That's what we like to teach. Is we don't just fish for people. We like to teach them how to fish. So
it's funny because I've had many Samsung TVs and I never want to use the browser.
Yeah,
I always feel like it's like, ooh.
Yeah, exactly. It squeezes me out. So yeah, get in that app.
Norm, thank you for watching.
Thank you so much.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Take care. Burke is saying, tell him to join the club. I don't think that would fix it.
Yeah, I don't know if they have a Discord app for Samsung. So
yeah, it's nice that you watch on TV. Honestly, I often second guess my decision to do video. It's very expensive. We got a lights studio, and we have to have a lot more team members to do it. But I think there's some immediacy that you get. You wouldn't know, for instance, that I'm wearing Steve Martin socks.
Exactly.
If you weren't watching.
Absolutely.
And if you have a Samsung TV, that's in high def.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful.
You can see
Pink
all
Panther.
the ribbing of the sock.
Yeah, that's. I got to tell Steve I'm wearing him on my feet. If you're not a member of Club Twit, this is one way to get rid of all the ads and the trackers. Yeah, we have also tracking technology. Advertisers, I wish they didn't, and agencies demand it. They say, we're not going to buy your ads unless we have some way of verifying they're working. Now, we use a very lightweight and in my opinion, privacy-focused tracking capability. I can explain it, but I won't. The good news is, though, if you pay $7 a month, not only do you get no trackers, you get no ads. You don't even get this ad for Club Twit. But that's not all you get. You get access to our wonderful Discord, which is a very nice community of Club Twit members talking about all kinds of geeky things, not just the shows. You even get shows that we don't put out in public. These are shows, in effect, paid for by Club Twit memberships, like Hands on Macintosh, Micah's show, or Hands on Windows with Paul Thurrott, the Untitled Linux show with the wonderful Jonathan Bennett. We have the Giz Fizz with Dick D. Bartolo. We have Scott Wilkinson's Home Theater Geeks. There's a lot of content in there, plus a lot of special events just for our friends in the Discord. In fact, let me just check. We just had John Scalzi on, the sci-fi author, in a conversation with Ant Pruitt. Ant's our community manager. He does such a great job putting together events. Home Theater Geeks coming up October 19th. Oh, Micah and I and a bunch of the team, Lisa, will join us. We're going to do an escape room October 26th. That will be interesting.
So fun, right here in the Twit studio.
That will be very interesting. Stacy's book club. Stacy Higginbotham doesn't do Twig anymore. She's retired from podcasting, but she couldn't give up the book club, so she's going to do the Kaiju Preservation Society in November, a fireside chat with Renee Ritchie, who's now creator liaison at YouTube. Jeff Jarvis, Doc Searles, and I will do an Old Farts fireside chat in December. So get the fire lit for that. And early next year, a fireside chat with our AI guru, Anthony Nielsen. But we have more events coming. These are all available to Club Twit members. And you don't even have to be there live, because there's also a Twit Plus feed that has all of these shows. So you can subscribe to that feed and get all of these shows after the fact. I think there's a lot of value in it. We wanted to give you something, because $7, I know, it's hard for a lot of you. A couple of lattes, you got to give up. If you can afford it, if you can't, don't worry. This show's free. We'll continue to offer, shows for free, as we always have. We're not taking shows away. But it sure does make a difference to us. And I have to tell you, I don't know if you just saw the article about WNYC, which was a great podcast studio. They're pulling back all their podcasts. For some reason, I have my theories, but I'm not sure, people aren't buying podcast ads anymore. And as a result, frankly, we're a little underwater here. We have a fairly expensive studio and lots of very talented staff who we pay ridiculous salaries to, right, Micah? And
3-story shoebox with a tandem garage.
Okay, not ridiculous. But that's a good point. I'm actually not getting paid because when there isn't extra money, I can't get paid. Lisa can't get paid, but that's fine. That's part of the deal. But we would like to keep doing what we're doing, and we'd like to keep the lights on and keep the staff employed and keep the shows going. So if you want to help us out, now would be a good time. Buy one for your friends. $7 a month. twit.tv/clubtwit. We thank you. And to all the Club Twit members who are forced to watch this because they're watching live, somebody asked us the other day, can we not have ads in the live broadcasts?
Let's see. How does that work?
I think not.
Yes, actually. You know what we should do?
What?
We should get some custom-made Twit Blue earplugs, and we can give them to our club members.
And you just don't listen?
You just put them in.
And then
during
blinders?
The ads. Yeah, and some sunglasses that are just completely sealed.
And then we need some sort of electric shock technology to tell them when the ad's
when it's time
over.
to come back in. Yeah.
I'll work on it.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. John Ashley, we have time for one more. What else?
Oh, you want to do one more? Okay.
Why not?
All right, we'll take up another phone caller.
She loves those phone calls.
They've been hanging out on the line.
888-724-2884.
Hello?
Hey, what's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Stuart from Los Angeles.
Hi, Stuart. Welcome.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for having me on. And in light of your socks, excuse me.
I was watching an old Steve Martin a Saturday Night Live monologue, and he did that, and I thought, oh wow, there it is. Excuse me.
Steve's listening. He's rolling his eyes, I'm sure.
Oh, poor guy. I mean, you can imagine walking down the street. That's all he gets. I was in a car with him once, and we got out of the car, and a guy goes, "Hey, it's Steve Martin. Excuse me." Now that's 50 years ago, practically. He's still getting it.
Oh man.
So you gotta love your success. I guess, right?
Yes.
Or else you'll be sad.
Yeah, I have a kind of a two-part question, and it's somewhat in line with some of your theme earlier. It has to do a bit with security. I originally was resistant to turning my home into a smart home, but slowly over time, I've been accumulating things that started off with security cameras, which I thought were necessary, but now it's turned into other things.
Insecurity cameras nowadays, yes.
Yes. I have the Ring system, but as I keep adding on various doodads or things, of course, some of these things are logging onto my Wi-Fi network, and two-part problem. One is potentially interfering with bandwidth for real usage, and the other is trying to separate the security aspects of those things. So maybe, and I'm not sophisticated enough to figure out how to have two different, LAN.
Yeah.
systems.
So here's the problem with IoT devices. There isn't a lot of security on a lot of them.
Right.
For a variety of reasons. Some are no-name brands from China that they just never did security. Sometimes the firmware is insecure and they don't have a way to patch it. Sometimes they have a way to patch it, but they don't want to patch it, or they don't bother to patch it. Sometimes they have hardwired in logins and passwords. And the threat is that even, obviously people say, well, I don't care if somebody turns my lights on without my permission. That's not a big deal. But the problem is if your internet-connected light bulbs give somebody access to your internal network, then they can go on and do other things. In other words, it's like opening a door into your house. You lock all the doors, but you got a window wide open. That's not so secure. So there is some real reasons to be concerned with IoT devices. The good news is going forward, companies are paying a lot more attention. And if you buy an IoT device from Matter or HomeKit, Apple's HomeKit, if you get these certifications, the Matter cert on the side or the HomeKit cert on the side, Apple, for instance, demands a certain level of security, among other things, the ability to patch over the air so that they can fix a problem if one shows up. You're going to be much more secure. So that's the first step, is to pick devices that are certified by HomeKit, I guess matter?
Yeah, I would say more HomeKit. Not even really Amazon certification is as
HomeKit.
robust.
Stick with HomeKit.
Yeah, because oftentimes the HomeKit devices are also going to support a lot of the other stuff because it's the hardest to get that HomeKit certification. So if you look for that, then you are likely that you'll have the other certifications involved and the other interoperabilities involved.
Yeah. Now, you were mentioning this separate network for IoT devices. I do this at home. Steve Gibson recommended this. There are some downsides to that. Steve's original solution, he called it the 3 dumb routers solution. And you can actually Google security now 3 dumb routers, and you can hear his explanation. Actually, if you just Google 3 dumb routers, you'll probably find somebody's text explanation. It's kind of spread around. The idea is you can have 3 kind of simple routers. One connects to all the IoT devices via Wi-Fi. One connects to your, computers and devices you want to keep secure. And then the third router is the connection to the internet. So internet splits, and then there's no conversation between the 2 branches on that tree, the IoT branch and the regular LAN branch. There's a problem, though. Many IoT devices want to talk to the LAN branch. My Sonos devices, for instance, have to be on the same network. Printers often have to be on the same network. So if, now your Ring cameras don't, by the way. Ring goes to Amazon servers and then down. So it can bridge that gap, but a lot of devices can't. So I have set this, and you can do this, by the way, with some more modern, more sophisticated routers, with a single router, creating something called a virtual LAN. These are separate, isolated LANs, and a VLAN, a virtual LAN, does this kind of virtually, provides kind of a barrier between the two. That's nice because you can then say, well, if it's a printer, let it talk to the other guy. You can kind of use rules to control how that's going to work. But again, it has the same issue. It's complicated to set up. And honestly, I don't know how much it really helps. I think you'd be much better off sticking with known secure devices.
Yes.
I think Ring's fine. I don't think you have to worry about Ring.
Yeah, Ring, and I think they have proven in the past how important that end-to-end encryption is, and how they respond to issues very quickly. That's one that you can trust to do what it needs to do. But yeah, I'm with you. I've tried using my guest network in the past as the
some guest
IoT.
Networks are isolated, some are not.
Exactly, and depending on what system you're using, you may or may not be able to do that tunneling thing, or that be able to phone home thing that you talk about. So it just ends up being kind of messy and complicated.
The main benefit I get from the VLANs on my Ubiquiti system is, and this is a capability that Ubiquiti has, not all routers will have, the IoT LAN is 2.4 gigahertz.
That is nice.
And the other LAN is not 2.4, is 5 only. And so that's helpful with some IoT devices. I would say just really going forward, get IoT devices with security built in, the ability to update. It's really important from a manufacturer, well-known manufacturer. There are what do you like for the? You used to do a show on this.
I did, yes. For security cameras, as much as Amazon's sort of sharing with
that's a separate issue with the police departments.
The police departments, as much as that part is troublesome, I do trust Ring's. The fact that it pays attention to
it encrypts the video. See, here's one example. We recommended for a long time those inexpensive cameras from Wise.
Yeah.
And but their first edition was insecure, and they couldn't patch it. So it's always going to be insecure. You actually have to get rid of it if you want to be secure. There are cameras, a lot of baby monitors do that send unencrypted video, or they have poor security for logins. That bad guys, and this has happened again and again with a lot of brands, can look at your video. You don't want somebody watching you in the house. My wife will not let me put a camera in the house for that reason.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Not my wife, but yeah. Same. I can't put it in the house.
Because, well, we like to walk around naked. And no, we don't. But if we ever did, that would be...
My dogs like to walk around naked.
Your dogs are always,
Yeah.
So that's not just like they could hack into my stuff. They could watch me.
Yeah, it's
I don't
creepy.
want that.
Yeah.
So if you're using cameras, Ring's fine, but get a camera that has encrypted video and strong security around it. things like that. And
even better if you just have it on the local network. But I know people do like to be able to check on things while they're gone.
Right. Quippy in our club says, and I think he's right, and most cameras let you do this, only turn on the cameras when you're not in the house. That's when you care anyway.
Yeah, I tried to argue that as the way to do it in my home, and that was not allowed either. Yeah, it's fair.
No, Lisa's the same way. She does not
don't even want to see that there's a camera.
Cameras in the house, and
that's
I don't
fair.
blame her. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wasn't so as concerned with the Ring system as much as like there were some lights outside for the holidays that I wanted to get, and they were tied to the Wi-Fi network, so you could turn on colored lights or change them.
Are they connected to a bridge?
Now this is like, it was like.
Well, I'll give you an example. Hue was
from
the
China,
Yes, you don't.
Yeah.
The Hue, which was from Philips, it was a well-known brand, was the #1 colored lights. There was an exploit, and people could get into your network through your Hue lights. They fixed it, but that's the problem. So you definitely don't want to use a no name. Now Hue fixed it with a firmware push. So you want to get something that can be updated. You kind of want to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, but would setting up one of these VLAN systems and putting those lights on that system
for that? Yeah.
Well, I mean, like all of these, but you're suggesting don't ever buy a product that isn't a big brand name or moving through these companies.
Steve Gibson,
certificates.
Who is the most security-focused guy in the world, intentionally bought cheap, no-name Chinese Wi-Fi plugs.
Yeah.
Intentionally. And he was very confident that he could land them out and stuff. I'm not so confident.
I just don't feel good about it. Yeah. So
I am not so confident. And Steve probably is a target, I'm going to say.
That's the thing is,
Steve's
he's
threat
a
model.
You're not. You're probably okay.
So I would worry about cameras. I wouldn't worry so much about people hacking you with lights. But if you could keep them on a separate net, put them on the guest network, that's better than nothing.
Especially if they're all on that separate guest network, then it's not as much of an issue whenever it comes to needing to talk to the main network or anything like that. And especially if you're having it as a kind of a holiday thing, it's a trouble during the holidays, but then afterwards you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, TP-Link is fine. There are known brand names that are fine. I suspect more.
Yeah, I was using the I have AT&T fiber line, and called AT&T no service, no customer service, but they recommended turning on the guest network, which I had, but the guest network is just 2.4.
Well, that's what you
want. The main
want.
one is both.
No, that's what you want.
2.4.
You want 2.4 for IoT devices. It travels farther. It's more than fast enough. And many IoT devices only have 2.4 gigahertz radios built in.
Right.
So you always want 2.4.
For some reason, some of them wouldn't reach for some reason. I don't know why. But
5 gigahertz
only
does
talk
not.
to my main one.
5 does not go as far.
5 doesn't reach as far. Yeah. So that's odd.
I know, but I don't know. I guess
these things have crappy antennas or crappy radios. They're cheap, and so everything is kind of as cheap as it can be.
Yeah, and if they all are individually Wi-Fi radios, that's a trouble too.
Yeah.
Because they all kind of end up talking over one another. That's another recommendation for Philips Hue, because it has them all talking to one device separate from your network. That device handles all of the
communication. And then that device can be LANed out.
Yeah.
I think more and more routers are going to be smart about this. I mean, Ubiquiti does all sorts of nice security things. For instance, I can block all traffic from China, Russia, Ukraine. I don't let traffic in from anywhere but the U.S., right? Because if it's got to be me, and there's all sorts of things you can do with a good router, and I think routers are going to get better and better at this because they're the front line.
Yep,
they're the defense.
They are, yeah.
And many routers now offer VLANs for IoT devices. I think there's ASUS routers that do this.
That is also another benefit of HomeKit stuff, because Apple has, with certain routers, Eero is one of them, a special VLAN that is specific to HomeKit-enabled devices.
Oh, that's great.
And they work with the manufacturers directly to learn what the actual URLs are from the firmware updates, and then you can block basically all other communication to those devices so that you still get your firmware updates, but everything else remains you can't communicate in other ways. So, yeah, that's another benefit there.
Good. It's a good question. It's a good concern. There's no really good answer for it. But
I guess that was Mike almost answered my kind of other part, which was I have had this smart things from Samsung, and then the question is switching over to Apple HomeKit and how to. I guess I'm oblivious to know it's not the same as the VLAN. I know, because it's on a different communication system, not the Wi-Fi, right? It's on a different.
It's Wi-Fi to the hub.
Yeah, exactly. It's Wi-Fi to the hub. It gets very complicated. And I hesitate to have someone, unless they really are trying to make the jump, to suddenly throw out their whole system. You know what I mean? To completely go away with something that you've worked with forever, you've invested in, that's e-waste, that's a lot of cognitive cycles trying to rework everything. So it's not necessarily that it's going to be worth it in the long run. I think the most important thing that you can do at the end of the day is decide what you are comfortable with doing, how much work you're comfortable with doing, and how much inconvenience you're comfortable with, to determine if you want to have it on this separate VLAN or on this separate guest network that's all on its own. Because outside of that is a complicated process to take it even further.
Well, if you want to come over and do it at my house, I'll turn my cameras off. I'll turn them off. You can even do it naked.
All right. That sounds I'm in. Oh, Lord.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
I'm glad you're asking the questions. Yep. Those are the right questions to ask.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. Take care. And that does it for Ask the Tech Guys.
Wow.
We did it. Thank you so much for letting us into your homes. We do Ask the Tech Guys live Sundays from 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern. That's 11 to 2 Pacific time, 1800 UTC. You can watch us do it live at live.twit.tv. And if you're watching live on anything but a Samsung TV, you can also call in and join us live via the Zoom call.twit.tv or the phone number. Now, when we're not on the air, you can always email atg@twit.tv or call 888-724-2884 and leave a voicemail. You can also email us with a video question. We love those too. But we do love hearing from you, and we're so glad you watched the show this week.
Yes, thank you so much for tuning in. And
catch Micah on Tech News Weekly on Thursdays. On Tuesdays, iOS Today with the wonderful Rosemary Orchard. And, of course, his Hands-on Macintosh show, which is club members only, although you've put some stuff on the
every once in a while, one will trickle out.
Yeah, that's good.
You can see what you're missing.
Let's see, what else? You joined the club, right? Okay, that's good. I don't have to mention that again. That's about it.
Yeah, I think that takes care of it.
We're done. All I can say is, on behalf of Micah Sargent
and Leo Laporte,
have a great Geek Week.
Bye-bye.
Listeners of this program get an ad-free version if they're members of Club Twit. $7 a month gives you ad-free versions of all of our shows, plus membership in the Club Twit Discord, a great clubhouse for Twit listeners. And finally, the Twit Plus feed with shows like Stacy's Book Club, The Untitled Linux Show, The Giz Fizz, and more. Go to twit.tv/clubtwit. And thanks for your support.